way, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones, produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope, hold the rope, hold the rope. I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope, hold the rope, hold the rope on three. 1, 2, 3. Turn that down, Drew,
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Morning, everybody. How you doing on this wet Wednesday in the River Valley in northwest Arkansas and across a good chunk of our state? Good to be with you. In studio today with the guys, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Matt Travis. Got you for the next 3 hours. And, man, got an overarching theme to, I think, most sports talk radio in the Southeast, if you're within the footprint of the SEC. And really, if your show is more about college sports, Alabama basketball, Brandon Miller and Nate Oates are the overarching topic. And not you could say not a good look, those sort of things. It's just not a good situation at all going on in Tuscaloosa right now. And I guess really for like the last few weeks, as it seems the Alabama athletic department, or at least the basketball program, might have known the situation with Brandon Miller bringing the weapon that eventually was used for a murder in the wee hours of the morning in a January day in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. This is going to be a really interesting day. And who knows what will happen throughout the show. But at some point, I think some of us are expecting to hear about a suspension for Brandon Miller and whether or not he'll play tonight or whether or not he'll play in the near future. Now, I understand it's going to be up to a grand jury whether or not he gets charged as an accessory to murder. And I think that there are Alabama state laws that may actually allow him to be off the hook as far as this is concerned. You know, they got to figure out intent for all of this. But, you know, Matt, there's a difference between being innocent before proven guilty in the eyes of the law and how other institutions handle situations like that. Didn't we just see this with the Chris Beard situation with the University of Texas?
Yeah, I'm waiting for more information to come out, like you said. But when you wear that name across your chest and you represent an institution, it's not necessarily the same way. You got to be held to a higher standard, and they tell you that when you get there. Coach Nutt did a great job about that. You put that Arkansas Razorback on your jersey. I mean, you do something wrong after midnight, you know, you're kind of guilty until proven innocent in situations like that because you are held to a higher standard.
Well, and you're also held to a higher standard, you know, when you're the head coach of a major basketball program,
exactly.
Too. And I mean the same way for Nate Oates in this sense.
Yeah,
you know, you're not just a coach. You're not just somebody who draws up X's and O's, figures out a philosophy that you want to play towards, you know, recruiting, teaching basketball to these young men. You're teaching life
lessons. You're a mentor as well.
Matt, you know this better than most. I think you view the coaches who you played for, at least when I hear you talk about Houston Nutt and Nolan Richardson, you're not just talking about what they taught you on the court, how to be a better quarterback or how to be a better basketball player. I think these guys taught you life lessons that showed not just to you, but I think to, you know, anybody in Razorback land that paid attention to those coaches and even the coaches that you got right now, that they weren't just coaches of a team. They were coaches of young men. And to borrow like a term that you hear a lot, they were leaders of young men, and not just on a court, in life.
Coach Nutt was one of the best ever been around. You knew he was put on this earth to compete and to lead young men. And talking about life lessons, you know, one of the just some of the simple stuff you do, like when you go through the lunch line, you tell the people making your food thank you for it, and you don't just set your trash on the ground. You know, you clean up after yourself, and just some little stuff like that takes you a long way. But you're right, it's not just about the X's and O's. It's about how you handle yourself. And I heard this the other day. David Green's dad, he
the former Georgia quarterback?
I'm sorry, David Pollock.
Oh, yeah, another former Georgia quarterback.
The DN. But so he was getting recruited by a lot of schools, and he ends up going to Georgia, and his pops made him call all the other schools to tell him that he wasn't going to go there. You know, those are life lessons that are hard, and my pops is just kind of doing the same things. Like, well, you got to call so-and-so and got to tell him you're not going there. And it's like, I don't want to do it, but it's just like you kind of grow up. And football's it brings people together. You know, there's no race, there's no age. You're just out there playing for your brothers.
Yeah, we call that being a mensch where I grew up. It's
right
a little Yiddish for you. It's called being a mensch, being kind of like being a grown up in a sense.
Yeah, there you go.
Taking accountability
Mature a little bit. Yeah,
you mentioned like it's learning the small things. I would think that a thing that maybe you don't need to be coached on is don't bring a loaded weapon to somebody at 2 a.m. who's been drinking all night. How about that lesson?
And that's what Coach Nutt said. Nothing good happens after midnight. And so I have my concealed weapons. I mean, I did, but my pops, I had a 45. I've had grown up shooting guns since I was 3 years old. You know, raised. You're in Arkansas, I know that. But so my dad got me a gun for Christmas. Got me a 45, a handgun. And he would not let me have it until I went and got my concealed weapons permit. You know, just little stuff like that. You shouldn't have a gun in your college dorm room at Alabama. You know, there's no reason. Nothing good's going to happen because of that as a 19-year-old kid doing that. So, yeah, I mean, just a bad decision made, but probably by a good kid. And when you do, there's consequences for your actions. That's one thing that these kids, they're used to. And I say this in the whole, I mean, it's a sad deal. You know, somebody lost their life, but these kids don't hear no a lot. You know, you've been 15, 14 years old. You haven't heard the word no. And then so you just go through life with a different point of view. And I don't know. I hope the best for everybody involved, but it's a sad deal.
The young lady, of course, her name was Jamia Janae Harris. I think I remember I wanted to say her name the day after it happened, as we did talk about it briefly. But it's kind of even the way that she's referred to at times, you know, about the life that was lost. This was a human being who was a mother, who was a daughter, and she's the focus of all of this when it comes right down to it. I mean, you talk about tragedy, and that's tragic.
Absolutely.
That's tragic.
Yeah.
And essentially what it sounds like, as the deposition came out yesterday, is that she was the target of unwanted advances from
a guy that hasn't heard the word no a lot.
That's exactly right.
Another player, yeah.
And somebody that had been drinking for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows the mindset at that point? Maybe it'd been said no to earlier in the day. I shouldn't just throw, maybe this happened, that happened out. From what we know, from what the AL.com article said, and this is coming straight from the deposition, is that the young woman and her boyfriend were in a Jeep with the lights off and the blinkers on after they'd gone to get something to eat. And Miles, who's the young player that had been kicked off of the Alabama basketball team, and Davis, his very good friend that he grew up with, approached the vehicle, and earlier they essentially, let her know that they were interested in it.
Right.
She wasn't having it.
Yeah.
She had a boyfriend in the car. So Miles texts Brendan Miller, who had decided he didn't want to go to the club with him that night because the line was too long, so he goes home. Texts Miller, I need my joint. I need my gun. And Miller brings him, this is 2 a.m. What do you think is going to happen at 2 a.m. bringing a loaded weapon to somebody that's been drinking? I guess you expect that he's in jeopardy, that he's in danger. If I could play devil's advocate on this sense, that you're bringing it to him for self-preservation, for self-defense.
Man, yeah,
that is the only defense that you can come up with for this. But then again, from this deposition, Miller and Jaden Bradley, another Alabama basketball player, had their vehicles once he drove the gun to his friend and knew exactly what was going to happen, that his friend was going to take the gun from him. After that, Miller's washing his hands of it. apparently the two cars were parked in a way that blocked the Jeep's exit from the street, so they couldn't have gotten out.
They knew what they were doing.
I think it seems like they knew what they were doing, but there is no charges yet. And Alabama state law says you have to be able to show intent with bringing the vehicle or in the way those vehicles were parked. And that's got to be established before Brandon Miller is indicted or is charged with a crime. Now, again, that, Matt, probably is separate from anything that the University of Alabama can do as far as suspending him while this is still being decided.
Yeah, I'm bewildered.
I'm bewildered too. I don't know how you let him on the court tonight.
I mean, unless you've had conversations with the kid and with the authorities, and I think I saw something too on the ESPN when you're talking about AL.com where you read this. He said all these kids are telling the truth. He goes, we're acting on the assumption that all these kids in this process are telling the authorities the truth. And I don't know if that's the right assumption to be acting on, because 19, 20-year-old kids drinking and doing all that out at night, how much of the truth are they? How much of the truth do we
Miles
really
wasn't
know?
telling the truth to the cops initially until he was confronted with video evidence.
There you go.
So,
right.
I mean, he'd already lied to the police. With Miller, I don't know, but it seems like Alabama knew that they had three players. One of them that they did kick off the team. That another two were at least involved somehow. That they were there.
How many? That's what I was going to ask you. How many were witness there? Was he there and saw the whole thing go down? Because then I think that there's more weight to what you're saying, is that he shouldn't be playing.
Miller's car took a couple of bullets.
Yeah,
they were that close.
Wow,
he was that close. So I mean, it's shocking news. And that's even separate from, and
you're not getting away with it. My whole point is, man, it's just 1 a.m. and you're just out in public in front of everybody, and you're just going to go up to somebody and like you're going to jail for the rest of your life. Like where are these decision making processes? I mean, what's going? That's just, I don't understand.
I don't know. Only somebody with either a massive anger issue or is completely trashed.
He was,
or drunk.
Maybe he had 19 shots of vodka and could barely stand up. You're right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
and all that is even kind of separate from the press conference yesterday, which was a total disaster from Nate.
That's
Oates.
what I saw. I saw that,
and I mean, I know
he wasn't very empathetic.
By now, you've probably heard the clip, and I saw the video clip. I mean, he looked totally disinterested in even addressing it at all. I think by then, I think Nate Oates, I think Alabama was kind of hoping that they were past it.
Just sweep it under and nobody bring it up again. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, they look terrible right now. Nate Oates looks terrible right now. The entire Alabama athletic department has a black eye on them, in the communications department. Like, those are professionals supposedly, but they didn't help Coach Oates out at all, and he didn't do himself any favors by saying what he said yesterday. And I know he's tried to clarify the statement, but the damage is already done, and it's shocking. It really is shocking.
It'd be interesting to see all the information that comes out. I don't. Yeah, I mean the kid, man, and then somebody loses their life, and it puts basketball in perspective of a lot of things.
Well, and I mean the question, arises. It's like, what if Brandon Miller was a scrub? What if,
he's not on the team.
What if he was just like the 7th, 8th guy off the bench, or somebody who was just a practice player?
He's already back home.
Right.
Yeah, he's not even around the team. That's 100%. That's 100%. You see that a lot in all sports, and maybe that's a life lesson that coaches have to be better at. And I thought Coach Nutt did a great job at that. You'd have teammates and they'd get in trouble, man. They weren't playing. There was no talk. You did something wrong for a bowl game, or you did something. He didn't care who you were. Fred Talley got left one time for a game. He was late to the bus. Fred Talley, he's a Hall of Fame Razorback, man. One of the best to ever do it. But Coach, you have a way about it, and you see that all over sports, where just because the guy has more talent, they don't care about his character or moralities, and it's. Hopefully the coaches can get it right and don't sell your soul. It's all about the wins and all about this, instead of what you said earlier, Phil, is mentoring these young men to be grown men and make the right decisions. Have some character about yourself.
Yeah, there's some of the names that I think are, like Joe Mixon or Maurice Claret.
He did it again, though. Joe Mixon just did the same thing again like 3 weeks ago to another female. Same. So he hasn't learned his lesson that's wild. Lawrence
Phillips, to a point, until he finally did, spend time in jail.
Right.
It's terrible. It really is. It's terrible. And I don't really know what else to say about it here in our first segment. But there's a lot else to get to other than, this terrible situation going on with Alabama athletics. This is an Arkansas-based show, and we had 2 games yesterday, 2 wins. I feel like the scores, or at least the outcomes, were a little bit reversed from what we expected. I thought baseball would have been the team
like a 17-2
blew
type
out
of game.
The opponent, not the basketball team against an SEC ball club. But man, we had our breath held tightly in the afternoon, and then before you even were able to get your eyes on the game on television last night, it was pretty much game, set, match. It was kind of crazy.
Because of the cut-if, and this is what Chuck brought up yesterday on the show, having to go to the ESPN app to get it, not just the ESPN.
Well, and apparently the app wasn't even playing it.
Yeah, there was because it was SEC Plus.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. So yeah, you show up to watch, and you got to watch the Missouri number 24 miss that bunny. You're like, dude, get out of here. You can't play in the NBA. You can't if you can't make that shot right there. You're an undersized big. Like I just got kind of because you're like an Arkansas fan. Like get off the court. Yeah.
Well, we'll be digging into baseball, basketball quite a bit. This also is a very special anniversary in sports history. Got our usual Wednesday guest, Bill King, in hour number 3. Can't wait to get Bill's thoughts on the proposals for clock changes in football. That'll be a get off my lawn segment for sure. Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in hour number 2. We got Grant Hall joining halftime next, so stay with us.
Like up the funky sound now. I say it won't be the last time you hear it scream. 'Cause in 21 verse now, the storm is raging, and you will satisfy your destiny. And it will rain, rain, go away, rain, rain, come back again.
The pitch is coming, swinging a fly ball to left field, hit pretty well. Going back is Napolitan, that ball's gone! That's a grand slam home run! Brady Toots just hit a grand slam home run! And the Razorbacks have taken the lead! Oh my goodness! Brady Toots just hit a grand slam home run!
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Would you like to cut your heating bills without cutting comfort, lower your utility costs, while enjoying the reliability and efficiency of a new Luxair HVAC system? Have your contractor call J&B Supply to hook you up with a Luxair system perfectly suited for your home. Luxair provides optimal comfort, energy savings, and lasting performance. J&B Supply, where the professionals go for all their HVAC and plumbing needs since 1968. J&B Supply, with locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville.
Make today more interesting with Betley's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betley, the only online sportsbook in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betley Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betley.com. With Betley, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while, or if you haven't had the best of experiences with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry. Give her a call at 494-7600. They'll take care of it all. Crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today. 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
Love is in the air at Crane Used Car Supercenter of Fort Smith. And dealer-operator Joe Pulliam is making sweetheart deals all month long. Like pre-owned vehicles starting as low as $7,497. Or payments as low as $269 a month. You'll fall in love with a Crane pre-loved with lots to choose from. Kias and Land Rovers to full-size trucks, all backed by the Crane commitment. Rush to the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 US 71 South in Fort Smith. UACC dealer details.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Is your heating system leaving you out in the cold? Funny smells? Grinding noises? Or just plain not keeping you comfortable? If it's time for a new heating and air system, you deserve the best. Get a complete Pascal system replacement starting at only $99 a month. Don't settle for good when you can have the best. Schedule today at gopascal.com. Professional people, professional service, Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Arkansas Razorback football team is coming off back-to-back winning seasons and a Liberty Bowl victory. As Coach Sam Pittman and the team look ahead towards the 2023 season, it's time for Razorback fans to do so as well. The deadline to renew your Razorback football season tickets and Razorback Foundation pledge is Wednesday, March 1st. You don't want to miss a second of the action in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium next season in 2023, so head on over to ArkansasRazorbacks.com and renew today.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
By the lane with my hands in my pocket, jingling a wish coin that I stole from a fountain that was down on the cares in the world. When I get older, climbing up on the back porch fence just to see the dogs running with the ring and a question, and my shivering voices singing through a crack. Na, 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 na. I better go it alone. Na, 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 na.
And 2 points early on. Gives it to Graham in the key. Jalen back out front. Nick from the top of the circle drains a three-pointer. Nick Smith with a basket. Arkansas by 15.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And Grant Hall with us here on halftime for a Wednesday morning. Hi, Grant. How you doing today?
Doing great, thanks.
You got it, man. Always appreciate talking with you. Were you? I'm assuming you were at the game last night. I wasn't able to watch for the first 15 minutes. I listened while I was running some errands after the baseball game. I know a lot of people couldn't get their eyes on the game, but before they could even turn it on, it was pretty much over because Nick Smith and Ricky Council, the fourth, they took Georgia to the woodshed along with the rest of the team.
Yeah, I was at baseball and basketball yesterday, and got through the traffic jam, but I was making over there in time after the baseball press conference, and it was a fun day on both counts. Although I don't think Dave Van Horn enjoyed the first few innings too much in baseball.
Baseball, all right, fun. We can use that term in some ways. The first 4 innings yesterday, 5 innings were not so much fun. They were head scratching, and some of it is not like usual midweek stuff you'd expect. 2 pitchers that are expected to do big things on the weekend, Zach Morris and Will McIntyre, did not look good, and base running mistakes. So they won the game, so that's the overarching thing. But there's a lot to clean up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Josenberger. It's the first time I really kind of got to see him in a press conference situation. Of course, they never got him. Well, I guess they got him out on the sacrifice fly, but he was 2 for 2. Filled up he went 2-2-2-2 on at bats, runs, hits, and RBIs, and he, as he said, he sets the table Going to be a great leadoff man this year. Goes from first to third in your face with a center fielder 30 or 40 feet away, like kind of daring him to throw him out at third. And he's going to do that a lot this year. But the guy, he's one of these guys. He kind of reminds me of Turner last year when he comes into the post-game scene, and just very calm and collected and analytical and a mature baseball player, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm excited to watch him the rest of the season. Matt, it was funny. We had they announced before the baseball game they had a run rule. If Arkansas or Grambling were up by 10 or more at the end of 7, game would be over. What about a point rule for basketball? Like if you're 30 in the last 5 minutes, can we just not play the last 5 minutes?
I get that. I think that's kind of bulletin board material for Arkansas to do that when the team comes in and just kind of feels. Don't wake them up or do anything to make them mad to give them any extra. Yeah, but that's like boys club rules. When you're up 20, the clock runs, continuous clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do we do this in baseball and not in basketball? Because basketball run rule Georgia last night, Grant.
And points matter on your seeding. They can matter on your seeding in basketball, yeah.
Well, last night, Matt, the fans started leaving with about 10 minutes left. Part of it was the lateness of the game starting and everything. But I think this one guy, one of my friends, walked up past the media area and he said, "I can't take it anymore." He was talking about, I think there were 20 fouls called in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
Oh, and nobody was making free throws. Yeah, like what was going on?
I mean, the game kind of came to a stop, and it's too bad they left in one way because there were some fun moments at the end with Lawson Blake getting in there, and scoring.
Oh,
and
that was
taking
cool.
a shot from a frustrated Georgia
and
player.
flexing, showing the gun.
He won't score another basket all year.
But it won't matter.
That's exactly right.
Did you see the tweet the basketball team put out afterwards the game? They said everybody on the roster has scored now this year.
That's cool. That's cool.
I mean, half the team was on the floor almost to the free throw line after he scored. They were getting a big kick out of it. It was a fun night, and it's interesting. All of a sudden, the reaction, like on the SEC network, I even think I heard somebody say Final Four again with Arkansas, which was a team a week ago. People wonder if they're going to make the NCAA tournament and stuff like that. All of a sudden, Nick Smith hits 5 out of 8 threes, and finally you see what all the commotion was about him around the country. I really think, guys, that in this basketball season where no one seems to want number one for very long, if Brazile and Smith had been healthy all year, you might be looking at Arkansas at number one right now in the country with that team that they could have had.
But Grant, even without Brazile, I mean, this looks like a pretty darn dangerous team. Georgia's beaten some teams that Arkansas has not beaten. So
these next 3 games are going to be very important on our progression.
And very
important, but also just interesting to see.
Oh, they're going to be awesome. Yeah.
How Arkansas matches up against these 3 teams, and that is whether or not Alabama's got Brandon Miller.
You said this yesterday that they're all kind of one-off games, and it is. It's going to be a tournament-like atmosphere in all 3 of these next 3 games, and maybe I'm having a little too much belief, Grant, right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if this team went 2-1 in these last 3 games.
I wouldn't either. Tennessee's got a couple of guys hurt. Alabama's in this situation
knows, right?
Now where, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't think they knew how to handle. They really mishandled the situation. I even wonder if Greg Sankey might even get involved, at least behind the scenes.
I don't see how he doesn't
help them along. Because it's not. I mean, yesterday. There was a story, or at least today, I guess, the word gun appeared in a story about an LSU football player.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors. That's right.
Yeah, and the Alabama situation. This is not something that Greg Sankey likes to see, or really any of us that follow SEC sports. So, I think Eric Musselman did a wise thing last night by having his pre-Alabama press conference last night before anything else happens there, and it just stuck to the basketball part. But I mean, in one way, if Arkansas goes in there and wins the game at Alabama, everyone's going to say, well, Alabama was distracted by all the other stuff off the court. And I'm not so sure Arkansas doesn't just go in there and win the game, Matt. I'm with you. I think they'll go 2-1 at a minimum these last 3 games.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised. And Coach Muss has his team playing right. I mean, I love some Ricky Council coming off the bench. I love his game. I mean, he's just packs a punch. And I was trying to think, Grant, throughout the throughout the years, does he remind you a little bit of like a Brandon Dean? How athletic? Ricky Council might be. I thought Jordan Walsh was the most athletic guy on the team. Ricky Council might be the most athletic guy on the team, and that kind of made me think of how Brandon Dean was a little undersized, but man, he'd get up and dunk on you just like Ricky will.
Yeah, he had that coming out party in that SEC tournament they won that year, which I think
with Joe Johnson.
The only SEC
yeah.
tournament Arkansas has won. Yeah, but yeah, Council. I mean, just for fun, he reversed dunks and things, and I think he doesn't mind at all the sixth man thing. He
embraces it. Yeah.
He did it well for a couple of years before he got here, so that seems to be working.
But you know the way that Muss uses the sixth man. He's been searching for the right sixth man all year long.
Right.
Turns out maybe it just, you needed.
We had injuries.
You needed to have, and you still don't have your full complement of who you thought you have. You just have more than you had a few weeks ago, and more than you had a couple of weeks ago with Nick starting and playing those minutes. But Ricky's playing starters minutes, and how about this? Nobody played more than 30 and a half minutes yesterday. Of course, it was a blowout and a tighter game. Maybe things change, but the rotation is different now. It is different now.
Including Anthony Black. Yeah, Anthony Black, one of the most encouraging things to me was to see him and Smith interact together in post-game. They clearly like each other. They like finally playing together at this level. And
if I was a dunker, I would love Anthony Black as my point guard.
And Grant, I'm telling you, the best players always stick together. They game recognized game. Like you want some help out there, and Anthony Black can see. You know whose job's gotten a lot easier, Grant? Anthony Black's job's gotten a lot easier with Nick Smith out there.
And he doesn't mind it. People kind of wondered about, kind of going from the main man to not being somebody. Although last night, he had more assists than he did shots.
Oh, he was so under control. Yeah.
Right.
Grant, the men's team now seems to have solidified themselves as far as a bid to the NCAA tournament now. The women's team, I saw the last bracketology. They're on the first 4 out, according to Charlie Cream. I thought going into these last 3 games, and that's starting with this past Sunday's loss to Georgia, they probably needed 2 wins in order to secure a bid. And at that point, you're probably still on the bubble. I wonder what you think.
Well, I heard your interview with Mike after the game the other day, and he actually mentioned the letters NIT.
The first I'd heard it too.
NIT.
Mm-hmm.
And you sort of, he almost, I don't know that he sounded resigned. He sounded a little bit philosophical, like, this is a team of pleasers. You sort of look at some of the top teams like LSU and South Carolina and how tough some of those players are. Arkansas's got a nice group of players, but you wonder, like, I think it's going to be tough tomorrow night, don't you, Phil, to win that game on the road. And then I think they can beat A&M okay. A&M's losing to everybody this year, but maybe they have to win a game or 2 in the conference tournament.
They certainly have to do a little resume padding in order to make it. But you're right. That was the first time I'd heard Mike mention the NIT. But he does expect to be postseason bound at some point. It's just I don't think any of us expected that it would, and I think the coaching staff would agree on this point. He didn't expect that it would be the NIT this year.
They've lost confidence, and sometimes you can get it back pretty quickly if a couple of kids make 3-point shots early or something. But that was what they couldn't. They struggled, didn't they, in that game from 3-point range?
Yes, there was 5 for 33, I think it was. Chrissy Carr hit the only 5. The rest of the team went 0 for 20. I think they're feeling pressure. I think the starters are feeling pressure to do a little too much because it's just I haven't been getting a lot of help off the bench from your reserves. Grant, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you hopping on, man. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the week.
Okay, see you guys.
Thanks, Grant.
Grant Hall, we appreciate his time every Wednesday here on Halftime. I also appreciate CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. Anytime I'm headed to Fayetteville, I'm going to stop at that Russellville location as long as they're open. And stop at the Russellville location at Arkansas Avenue. It's great for eating in the car. Heck, they'll get it to you pretty quickly. You can sit there and eat inside the restaurant and still make it up for tip-off or first pitch or kickoff. Or just wait until you get up to Fayetteville, and you can stop at CJ's location just west off the Weddington exit. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. Best burgers, fries, and shakes anywhere in the state of Arkansas. They're at butcherboyburger.com. And download their app. You can order at the Fayetteville location. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best, and CJ's has the best. Lines are open, 877-377-6963. It's halftime.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So, you've got an oil change coming up. Consider STP Conventional High Mileage to save on motor oil for your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Do the complete job for the right price. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
It's a new year. Why not put a new-to-you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Sunshine came softly through my window today. Could have tripped out easy, but I've changed my way. It'll take time, I know it, but in a while you're gonna be mine, I know it. We'll do it in style.
Hawks by 20 with the ball. 3:09 to play in the half. Black, right side in the corner. Council's going to try it again. That one's good. Ricky on the second try bangs it home, 41-18. Hogs in a hurry up the floor. Walsh right side beyond the arc. Passed on the shot. Gives it to Mitchell at the high post. Black on a lob to Mitchell. Mitchell catches it, beats Smith in the corner for three. Smith's got 13, his second three-pointer. We've seen Arkansas's bigs pass up open shots inside for the open three.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
This would be the segment for phone calls because we're wide open right now, and we got Brent on hold. Brent's in Stuttgart. Hi, Brent. Appreciate you holding. How are you?
I'm great, Phil, and I'm just glad to be talking to the voice of Razorback baseball and the Razorback legend, Matt Jones. Long time no talk to you guys.
Well, we're just very glad to be talking to you once again, Brent, because it has been a while. What's up?
Phil, I was calling to get you to tell Coach Van Horn and the rest of their staff. I was in Arlington this past weekend, Arlington, and stayed at the Lowe's where the team was, and just how great their players were in the lobby. They were very accommodating and stopped and talked to you, and I really appreciated it.
Well,
met a lot of them.
That's good to hear. I will pass the word along on Friday when I see them.
Met a lot of the coaches and a lot of the players, and they were all so accommodating and everything, and I really appreciate it.
Hey, and after the game too, they'll sign autographs until until everybody's ready to leave.
Oh,
they'll be really good about that.
After the game Friday night, I just when I was done I just watched in awe as they signed everybody's baseball hat, jersey.
Well, these kids have been practicing their autographs all throughout their childhood too. You got to put that thing into practice at some point, over and over again.
Phil, can you explain to me the pitch clock? Please, sir.
Oh, well, I mean, which part of the pitch clock do you want an explanation for?
Okay, my question is, now the the batter gets in the box. He's got 10 seconds to get in, right?
He's got to not just get in, he's got to be alert and ready to hit at 10 seconds on the clock.
So does that mean there's no more asking for time in the box?
You get one timeout per at bat.
One timeout per
That's right.
bat.
One timeout per at bat. The pitcher gets one step off per at bat, or fake pick move, whatever you want to call it.
So, let me ask you this question: How are you able to hold the runners on first?
Well, that becomes the trick now, doesn't it? What this is doing is introducing. It makes it a little easier to steal a base because you can time the pitcher now. And know that if he's got that pitch clock down to the last few seconds.
Especially if you've already used his pickoff move.
That's exactly right. And you wait until we watch Major League games. Wait until that happens and pitchers get 2 pickoffs per batter. At least in college ball, they can pick as many times as they want.
They just get one step off.
Just one step off, that's right. If you thought there's going to be more steals in college ball, let me introduce you to the majors this year.
Because I thought Saturday night, TCU, bless their hearts, and I don't like TCU baseball. I like their football, okay, but the TCU baseball, they had it down to a science how to steal a base Saturday night.
Well, they definitely stole a bunch. Arkansas stole a bunch yesterday.
Yes.
So I mean, it'll probably work towards opponents a little bit more because I don't think this is necessarily a base stealing Arkansas team, but. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of levels to go on the pitch clock here. And one thing I did notice from yesterday's game, judging on the statistics and the number of runs scored and the pitching changes and the things like that, that game usually would have been longer than 3 hours and 2 minutes. I think the pitch clock worked as intended last night. It might not have over the last weekend, though.
But don't you think it'll adjust, and before we know it, it'll just be a thought of the past, the pitch clock? I mean,
Yes.
the players will adjust.
I do. I don't know if you'll feel like that at all this season, but I think eventually you probably. There were moments yesterday I didn't even notice that we were dealing with it. I just noticed the game was moving along, and I do think it'll get to that point.
There's one thing about it: the Hogs can hit and the Hogs can pitch.
Well, I'm a little worried about some of the pitching just based on Will McIntyre's 2 outings this year, and Zach Morris yesterday. They just had way too much of the strike zone, and those are not pitchers that can get away with having too much of the strike zone on a routine basis.
But they'll be okay. And on to that basketball game was just something to watch, and it's amazing.
If you could watch it, were you able to get your eyes on it at first? Because nobody could watch it unless you were there for like the first 8 minutes or so.
Oh no, I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to come to the game, but I had tickets and let somebody else use them. But yeah, that's one thing they got to do with TV basketball on TV. Say we're going to start them at 6 and 8:30. Okay, give them 30 minutes where we don't miss half the game. You know what I'm saying?
I hate the idea of starting a game at 8:30 though. If you're used to starting at 8, hey, and the team's out the Eastern time zone, you're talking about 9 o'clock tip-offs. So if you're pushing that to 9:30, you're not getting out of the arena until like midnight.
Well, there's some way they got to speed up the games. I don't know the possibilities or anything like that, but it's amazing to watch Nick Smith. What a difference he makes once it gets going. Once he gets going, and our team, I think we're peaking at the right time. Finally,
Coach Muss has been known to get his players peaking at the right time, hadn't he? I mean, Nick Smith, I said this yesterday, that you make your biggest improvements from week 1 to week 3, and he played 3 games. That was his 4th game, and you saw kind of a coming out party.
Hey, let's make our run these last 3 games, right? Let's win 8 of 11.
3 games, and maybe 3 in the SEC tournament, so that'd be 6, and then from there, hopefully you're playing 5 or 6 games.
Because there's no dominant team that wants to be number 1 this year.
No kidding. No, I don't even know if I'd like to be 1 through 4 with all the. Brent, appreciate the phone call. It's good to hear from you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Bye.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd even want to be a top seed right now.
I like Houston. If I had to choose out of the top 4 seeds, you got Purdue, Alabama, Houston. Like I think Houston's the scary one that kind of get Kevin I'm saying his name wrong. It's like Kelvin Sampson. Great coach, man. I'm partial because he recruited me to play basketball when he was the head coach at Oklahoma. So I kind of, partial to him. But
watch for Kansas too, man. I mean, it's like, watch for the national champions. But they're coming on.
Kansas, you're right. So yeah, but Houston's a team to watch out. I mean, that's an exciting basketball. I mean, old school feel. They get after you, but they play defense. They're scrappy. They run up and down the court. They're athletes everywhere. Right now, Houston's the team I'd be the most scared of.
The thing yesterday wasn't about necessarily the length of the game before Arkansas. I mean, that was a reason that you didn't have the game on television. But you should have had it on Plus. It should have been streaming.
SEC Plus, I think.
Somebody didn't program the ESPN app properly. And I'm talking about the person who is paid to program the ESPN app properly. Did not do his or her job correctly. And man, you don't want to piss the Razorback fan base off, and they did. We're going to wrap up the first hour right after this on Halftime.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
This is Butch at Whitspring, your authorized tracker and Mercury dealer. February the 23rd to the 25th will be our in-house boat show with a great inventory of Regency and Sun Tracker pontoons, bass boats by Nitro, Tracker, and Triton, plus deck boats and runabouts by Tahoe, all powered by Mercury, with gift cards ranging from $300 to $1,000 with purchase. Or how about upgrading your current boat with a new Mercury outboard? This will be a great time to meet the new owners of Whitspring with their commitment to still provide the same great service and custom rigging. That's Whitspring, 823 North 11th in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor. Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey and Hole Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com to set your consultation. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Hi. Hello.
Lines it into right center field, will fall in. And cut off by Burrell. A run scores. Tavian wants second base, and he's in there without the throw. 7-6. Grambling's lead is cut to 1 run. Josenberger's on base 4 times. And Peyton Stovall will bat with a chance to tie the game.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Stovall did not tie the game after Josenberger's double, but he did add to the lead later on in the 8th inning. Just the fact that Arkansas trailed yesterday against Grambling made you sweat just a little bit. But it was a weird Tuesday in college baseball. especially in the SEC, you just never know. First of all, you never know because it's baseball. And then it's midweek college baseball, which is like the weirdest of all of the college sports possible. So get a load of some of these scores. Mississippi State was defeated by UL Monroe 11-5. They were down 9 runs going into the 9th inning, and they were able to make it semi-respectable. Mississippi State, Matt, they blew a 10-1 lead last weekend against Virginia Military Institute.
They were so close to the run rule and just let it get away. Yeah.
They're 2 seasons off of a national championship. They did not make the tournament last year, and things aren't really looking good for Mississippi State this year. There were 4 upsets for top 25 schools in college baseball, including, hey, who here wants to root for the UCA Bears? The Bears won at Vanderbilt 5-4. Vandy ranked 10th in the D1 baseball poll. Huge win there.
How many? And so I know the starting pitchers are different, Phil. When you get these games, how many of the position players or the batting orders different? Is that kind of the same guys, or do you kind of sprinkle in some other guys?
Arkansas's lineup last night, Matt, was exactly what you saw on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes it changes,
but your pitchers.
It all depends on the makeup of the team. But your pitchers are usually different.
Okay.
5th-ranked A&M lost a home game to Lamar 7-4, and 2nd-ranked Stanford lost to Cal at home. Cal's an unranked team, so it was kind of a Tuesday of carnage in college baseball yesterday. So maybe you'd feel a little alarmed that Arkansas did not blow out Grambling and only won it by a couple of runs. But I don't really think you can take value judgments like that when it comes to midweek baseball.
The first game of the year is always tricky, no matter what sport it is. And, you know, we had Oregon and Bo Nix opened up against Georgia, then they looked good. And I always like to play a team that's not in your conference and a kind of like a powder puff team. Like I always like to play a team for our team to win, to make sure we're going to get a victory in that first game. So you start practicing good habits, start getting the momentum going the right way. But sometimes you got to play a tougher team, so it can be tougher. But, hey, the Hawks found a way, and you say this, Phil, especially about our basketball team. You got to find a way to win ugly games.
That's exactly right. And if you can win a game without playing your best, at least you did something right, and they did plenty right yesterday. Going to get into the second hour of halftime. Calls and texts at 877-377-6963. Coming right back.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Are you needing new tires? Are you short on cash? Van Alma Tire can help you get back on the road. Come by Van Alma Tire and apply for caffeine. It only takes minutes to get approved, and you can get the tire or the service you need to get your vehicle back on the road. top-of-the-line tires, brake service, and more. Van Alma Tire is here to help you. Located on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Must be 18 or older. Valid ID. Active checking account and income at least $1,000 per month.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, it is going to be wet, stormy, and windy. Our temperatures this afternoon will be in the upper 60s to low 70s with winds as high as 40 miles per hour. Clear and breezy, low 50s tonight, and then much cooler air will gallop on in Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
Proceed. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew
Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Hour number 2 of halftime on a wet Wednesday. Yuck. Yuck. Hope we're being safe out there on the roads. There, I got that part out of the way. You know that if you're driving right now. Please tell me you know that if you're driving right now. Calls and texts at 877-377-6963. Talking a lot about Arkansas basketball, Arkansas baseball with wins yesterday, and the ugly situation and head scratching and confusing and how does this happen and is he going to play at Alabama basketball? And we'll be touching on it all. We'll have Alyssa Orange coming up in about 15 minutes. Get her thoughts on all of those topics as well. We do have a couple of callers on hold. Let's say hi to them we've got right now. Charlie is on hold here. The tuna. Good afternoon, Charlie. What's new today?
Well, the tuna's going to bring some heat today.
Got your best fastball ready to go, huh?
Well, I think this fastball is going to go about, usually it's around 95, but I may get it into the hundreds today because I'll tell you what, let me start off with the positive stuff. Phil, you and Bubba did an amazing job yesterday calling the game.
Thanks. It was great to be back.
It was awesome listening to you guys. I want to ask you, though, how weird is it for a hitter to adjust to a 78 to 80 mile an hour fastball when he's used to going against a guy that throws in the high 80s, low 90s, And
Charlie, I don't even like referring to it as a fastball. It's
not.
It isn't. It's a high school
it's
fastball.
It's like a changeup for a, I don't know. That's what I was wondering. Then you got a breaking ball that's coming in there in what, the high 60s or mid 60s or something like that.
It makes it a one-off game. You're not going to see pitching like that all year long. There are change-ups that you'll see routinely on the weekends that are thrown faster than the fastballs from yesterday.
That's what I was wondering. So it's crazy to me to think that even though, and I know we left some pitches in there for him to hit, but it's crazy, and I know because Bubba kept pointing it out. You left it where you shouldn't have left it, and you hung a breaking ball. A couple guys he was talking about. But it's just crazy to me to think that they did such an amazing job of hitting our pitches, even though we weren't at our best.
And that's the thing that worried me from yesterday. It wasn't a matter of, they just put a good swing on a good pitch or something like that. No, it was there was some poor location from a couple of guys that gave big innings for Arkansas last year, Morrison McIntyre, and expected to give big innings this year. And I think they were supposed to work together on Saturdays. I don't know, and Dave said it after the game in the post-game presser, I don't know if Will's going to start on Saturday or the next time he'll get a chance to pitch.
Well, hey, you earn your spot on this team because we got enough guys. That's
right.
what it's about. Competition breeds, brings on. And some of these other guys that have been in there kind of behind them have played well. Who was the guy that came in, pitched for 2 and a third, and
Cody
did really
Frank.
well yesterday?
Yep,
Did
Cody
amazing.
Frank. I like him. Just the fact that you needed Frank for more than one inning and Brady Tigert for more than one inning.
Tigert's he's playing well.
Not
early.
expected Tuesdays.
Yeah, but also, guys, I just don't understand this whole Alabama situation. It makes me sick to even talk about. First of all, a person was murdered. Second off, I don't care if he's the number 1 overall pick, if he's going to be the next this. It makes me sick to even think about it because I always think of it this way. There are some things that are more important than winning a game and sports in general, and this right here is it. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. You guys probably do a way better job of explaining this than me because I don't want to get upset, but it makes no sense. What if this kid was the 3rd string guy on the team? He'd already be gone. I mean, and for Nate Oates to sit up there and say what he said, I mean, I lost all respect for that man. I mean, it makes no sense to me. Oh, and then you come out and you apologize after they caught your stupid, ignorant self and you made yourself look like a fool.
We should have known that he might be a little tone deaf to this when the first thing that happened was that he got called Ray Lewis to talk to the team about this. Ray Lewis is known for getting away with potential murder in this case, in the case of the Super Bowl. Come on.
Call Snoop Dogg next.
Well, and let me be real quick, I know you got another caller. There's no way, if you are an Alabama fan, you can defend this, and there's no way that Nate Oates, Brandon Miller, and the other kid that was involved should ever be involved in another game for them. There's just no way. You can't. There's no way. I don't care what anybody says. There's no excuse. Anyways, guys, thanks. I'll hang up and listen.
You got it. I mean, look, you can't allow somebody that if he is charged to be part of a team, but on the other hand, until that's still up in the air whether or not he's going to be charged. So how can he play? If you got to do right by somebody, and they very well may end up being charged with a crime as an accessory to murder, how can you still allow him to be part of a basketball team?
I don't understand it. I really think that if he was the 9th guy on the bench, if he was that last guy getting a scholarship, he wouldn't be there. I think there is something to that. I think the coach I think it starts with the coach. That's how I mean, if you're going to say it starts with the coach, and I think he's handled it wrong.
I don't understand how they thought this would just get swept under the rug. They knew there would
murder.
They knew there would be that eventually, and sooner rather than later, at least the deposition would come out. If they knew that Brandon Miller and Jaden Bradley were at least witnesses to this, at least witnesses to it, how did they think that this would not come out into the public sphere? It's moronic.
And the coach, they have to know all these details. You got to think that the police and they're working together. They want everything to be handled correctly is what I'm saying. And it just doesn't look like Alabama that they didn't know. It just doesn't make any sense that the kid can be there and then he can bring them the piece and everything can go down and they can just be like, well, he's the one that just went and got it and brought it to him. And that is just, I just don't understand that can be what you heard and say, oh yeah, come on and come play with us. There has to be more to the story. Like I don't think we know everything yet.
877-377-6963. Eddie's on hold. Eddie, it's good to hear from you. It's been a while. I hope you're doing all right. What's new, man?
Thank you for taking my call, gentlemen. I'd like to start off to say it's good to see the baseball hog train get rolling. As like yesterday, the old saying is you live to pitch another day. And
sure do.
I was disappointed in Will's performance yesterday. But, we got some young pitchers. We got a bunch of young players on this team. But all in all, we're still 3-1, and this young season is still ahead of us. And so I like what I call baseball mojo. And what is the Razorback mojo? It's always pitching, it's always hitting, and always comes down to defense. And so I think before the season's over, the mojo is going to be on display. I'd like to get to the basketball hall train, and I'd like to say apologies to Nick Smith Jr. I was even doubting the young man. But after the post-game, after last night's victory, I liked what the young man said. The young man said, I was waiting to 100% so I could get back and help my team win. And I was listening to Matt. Matt, you were right on. I mean, he reminds me so much. You know, I didn't know if he was a lottery pick or not, but he reminds me so much of great players that have come through our program over the decades. He reminds me of Sidney Moncrief, Todd Day, Lee Mayberry. Instant scoring when you put him in. And certainly we're a better basketball program today. Just since he's come back, look how much our point has come up. We're putting the ball in a basket. That's what it's about. And so I like our chances not only to make the big dance, but do a little dancing like we've done in the last couple of years. I don't know how it's going to go down, but I bet this young team, you better be watching them. If we're an 8 or 9 seed projected, we may be the best 8 or 9 seed out there in the country. Let me say this. I'm so happy for that young man. And so as far as the Brandon Miller situation goes, what a sad situation. Let me say this. I'm not pointing fingers, but if you knew about a situation, about a player, it all comes down, he was a lottery pick. He's helping their team win. It's all about winning, and Nate Oates didn't choose that decision. And so shame on you, Coach Oates, and anybody in that administration that knew about it. If it comes down to that, a young lady was murdered. He brought the smoking gun, and you can't tell me their defense is he didn't know what it was going to be used for. You got to be kidding me, man. That was his buddy. He brought a gun. He knew the intent. He's just as guilty as the guy that pulled the trigger. Thank you for taking my call,
Eddie. Appreciate you, and I think some of this will also have to do with the video evidence of how these two cars were parked.
Oh my goodness!
If the two cars were parked in a way to block the Jeep's exit, that's a way to be able to show intent. And I agree with Eddie. Like if you got a text from a friend at 2:30 in the morning that you'd left him at a club, and he says,
after you've been hanging out all night, it's not like you were asleep because you'd been studying for your test, and he wakes you up, and you're like, oh, I was sleeping. You've been partying, you've been hanging out, having a good time all night.
Yeah, you're not being asked to bring the gun so it can be shown to somebody.
It's a bad deal. Yeah,
Hog Ballers on hold here too. Hi, Hog Baller. Appreciate your call. How are you?
Hey, gentlemen, how y'all doing today?
Okay today. Thank you.
Kind of holding my breath over the baseball game yesterday. I didn't really expect that.
Me too. Me too. But you know midweek college baseball. It's like don't ever try to predict it.
I was jumping up and down when I saw the score of the UCA Bears. That was awesome.
Hey, I'll root for anybody that beats Vanderbilt when it's an Arkansas school, even more so.
Yeah, that even makes it better. The basketball game, I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit on this. Georgia's not that good of a team.
They're not going to any tournament.
I want to see. I want to see Nick Smith do this against competition, and then I'll start beating my chest saying we're going to make a run.
You're going to get 120 minutes over the next about 10 days against some just top-level competition. We're going to see what this team is.
Right. I understand why to pump the brakes on one game, Hog Baller, but the next 3 you can go pedal to the metal if you see the same thing.
Last point I want to make, and I think everyone's missing this, over the whole Alabama thing. Everyone kind of sees what's going on here. My whole thing is how can you give that coach an extension during all this?
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're saying that school of Alabama knew about it. That they've known for a month and a half.
Incident was January 15th is what I saw, yeah, as far as the Brandon Miller incident.
I mean, how could the higher-ups at Alabama go on ahead and give him an extension when all this was going on?
See, that's why, and
just blows my mind.
That's something like that, and the whole press conference from yesterday, which isn't just on Nate Oates' shoulders, it's also on the shoulders of the communications department within the Crimson Tide Athletics.
The athletic director, everybody involved.
They've shown.
Y'all have a wonderful day, guys.
Thank you very much, Hog Baller. Yeah, what they have shown is that they do not have what it takes to handle this situation. So in that sense, in that case, it goes to the university. It goes to the chancellor, school president, board of trustees, whomever makes the bigger decisions that don't usually have much to do with athletics in that case. Cecil in Fort Smith, you're next on Halftime. Hi, Cecil. How are you?
What's up, fellas? What's up? I just clicked the radio on, and I heard the conversation about the Alabama players, about the murder thing, and I got a couple things I want to say if y'all don't mind.
Let's hear
But
it.
anyway, it's really, really sad to see a player ruin their life like that, man. I had two boys go to Kimmons, and I just really hate that happened on both sides, man. You know, you lose a life, and actually you lose in 3 lives because they'll never, ever get out. And it's just sad. We just got to pray about a situation for a better day, man. Arkansas, I watched that game from beginning to end, and hey, man, just like you said, Council is box office. He NBA ready, big time.
He's a stud.
But they definitely needed, and the gentleman that said that Georgia really wasn't that good, they really wasn't that good. But actually, we needed to play a basketball game like that because we coming to a head before the tournament, and we need to. And the guys that's coming just got in from the portal. They needed their kind of flow. You know, that'll make them better. Just like LA, you know, LA's going to be better during the playoffs. But I just wanted to say that, man. Y'all have a blessed day.
Cecil, very appreciate your phone call. Thank you. Georgia beat some teams Arkansas did not beat. So
They struggled to score. What Coach Musselman does so well is take the team's best scorer, and they don't have a 5-star scorer, a blue chipper on that Georgia team. And if you're doing that, man, it's tough to beat a Coach Muss team because he's preaching defense first, and they did a great job. It started with their defense, and just like the Kentucky game, Phil, when we won that game, everybody got excited. Played one of our best defensive games that we played, and I thought the Hogs played a great defensive game as well. And when you play good defense, you get easy buckets on the other side. And then what we've been saying the whole season. It's hard to win basketball games when you can't shoot, and we were able to make some shots on the outside, and you see that happen. We make some shots on the outside, man, everything just opens up and it gets easier to score.
Let's take one more phone call before the break. Pilot Mike, appreciate your call. How are you?
Doing all right, gentlemen. First off, I just got to say, 94 feet for 40 minutes. That's the way to play. That's the way to win big-time basketball games. But as far as the whole Alabama situation, what I want to know is how can a man sit there and say, I can't control 14 college kids when they leave practice facility, and yet Nick Saban has to rein in 100 football players, and you don't hear this stuff happening on the football team.
I have never heard a coach basically the statement that he said.
It's like he didn't have accountability.
Washing my hands of whatever these kids do once they leave the basketball facility. I don't have anything to do with that, and I don't care.
Not a good coach. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't absolutely lose control of 14 guys versus 100 guys. And, I mean, what does that do for recruiting? What parent wants to send their kid to a school when the coach is going to sit there and say, I have no control whether they go break laws or not when they're not under my supervision?
Have no discipline, yeah.
That's just – but anyway, y'all have a good day, and go Hogs.
Thanks, Pilot Mike.
You getting, Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee, all of them maybe not vibing for different reasons. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say that I think the Hogs will go 3-0 in these last 3 games, but you're playing some teams that I'm really not going to be surprised if we go 2-1 in these last 3 games, and we'll definitely win at least one. I don't see any way we go 0-3.
Well, they might not vibe all the way, but you can vibe with WT Equipment. They've got 8 locations to serve all their customers across Arkansas and North Louisiana. WT Equipment is an authorized New Holland agriculture and construction equipment dealership. They offer equipment sales, service, and parts. So if you need equipment to be ready for harvest or putting up hay this upcoming summer, WT Equipment is your source. You could be in the market for compact track loaders or excavators. You might need agriculture or construction equipment. Please stop by any of WT Equipment's 8 locations or online at WTEquip.com. From Pig Trail Nation, it's Alyssa Orange joining halftime next.
Go all night.
There's no place in the SEC.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can...
With gift cards ranging from $300 to $1,000 with purchase. Or how about upgrading your current boat with a new Mercury outboard? This will be a great time to meet the new owners of Whit's Marine with their commitment to still provide the same great service and custom rigging. That's Whit's Marine, 823 North 11th and Fort Smith.
Save big when you shop at Metters Lumber True Value and get great deals during our home improvement sale. Pick up a 3-piece brush set by Master Painter for only $13.99. That's $5 off the original price. Upgrade your home's lighting with a 2-pack of GE's Direct Connect smart bulbs for only $23.99. Get $17 off Master Mechanic 20-volt cordless drill kit. Head over to Metters Lumber True Value and take advantage of these prices while supplies last.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Council left of the circle. 13 on the shot clock. Going to try to take Oquendo. Takes him to the elbow, kicks it out to Smith, and there's another three-pointer. Nick Smith's got 23. Season high for Nick, and it's 82-51. 4:40 to play in the game. Oquendo drives the baseline, blocked from behind by Council. Ricky blocked it, came out of there with the ball. Into the front court, Smith, pull up for three, and it's good. Smith started running back down the floor the minute it left his hands. 26 for Nick Smith. It's 85-51.
Then I'm there.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Alyssa Orange from Pigtrail Nation joining us here. I don't remember how long it was ago, maybe 3 months ago, that we picked this as Alyssa's walk-up song for every time she comes on. Is this song stuck in your head yet, Alyssa?
Yeah, I like it. I'm digging it.
Good.
It's a fun song.
Good. Well, sorry we got to you a little bit late. We had a lot of callers in the last segment. This the deal in Alabama is generating a lot of, I wouldn't say like a lot of opinions necessarily. There's just a lot of questions. It's an emotional topic, and it's just tragic. You know, first of all for Janae to have lost her life, and I think it becomes evident that the Alabama athletic department not ready to handle something quite like this. Nate Oates too, and I wonder your thoughts on this situation.
Oh, I've got a lot of opinions, and I am not a legal expert by any means. I don't understand. To quote Nate Oates, Brandon Miller is not in trouble at all. I'm sorry. What? Come again? Please explain to me how this young man is not culpable at all in this situation. And don't get it wrong. This is not about a basketball player. This is about Janae Harris and her 5-year-old son who no longer has a mom. And everyone needs to stop looking at it through a sports lens and look at it that this 5-year-old boy does not have his mother anymore, and he deserves justice from every person that was involved with his mother's death. Because bottom line, that gun doesn't show up that night, no one is dead.
Now, Alyssa, there's also, I mean, if we could separate, if we had to, the legal aspect of this from the moral aspect of this. You know, and what he's saying is he's not in trouble, and he means with the law, but he also means with us. Like, there have been no repercussions for Brandon Miller for making an incredibly poor, dumb decision that led directly to a young woman's death. And that can you can be innocent before proven guilty in the eyes of the law. But the people that you work for, those who in this case you play for, they've got a bigger responsibility to do the morally and ethically right thing.
Yep, exactly. And here's the deal. At the end of the day, I don't care what people say. He was the one who came back with that gun. And if Miles had texted him, he never once was like, why, man? Why do you need this? What do you need it for? I get he's a kid. Per se, he's young, he's still a teenager, but at the same time, like, you just have to be held responsible for the decisions that you make, and that decision led directly to a young woman and a mother losing her life. And I just wish people could see it from that way. It has got nothing to do with basketball and everything to do with a woman who is no longer on this earth.
It starts with the coach, and I agree with you, Alyssa. Why, does the coach not have a rule saying that we can't have guns on campus? You know, it starts with the coach.
Yeah, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine whose dad is a coach, and
you have different rules than other regular. Yeah, Alyssa, you're right on. If you're on a team, you have a different set of rules you have to follow than the regular students do.
I don't know. And Nate Oates makes a comment of like, I can't control what everyone does outside of practice. I don't know. How about not murder somebody? That sounds like something that should probably be on a list somewhere. Like, I don't know, guys. You probably can't, don't do boneheaded stuff, but definitely don't be involved with someone's murder. Sounds pretty simple to me.
Yeah, I do want to change it up a little bit and ask you about Ricky Council and his performance and him coming off the bench. And I was talking with Phil earlier, and who does Ricky Council remind you of in the last 20, 30 years? Because I was thinking a little Brandon Dean, but they're kind of a little, but just that undersized guard that had that spring. But man, the more I watch Ricky Council, Alyssa, the bigger fan I become.
Yeah, no, he's a really fun to watch. And I think Ricky Council's also someone when, not a ton of pressure is on him, he plays so much better. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we were seeing in that stretch of games where they were losing, is there was so much pressure on him and Anthony Black, because with Nick Smith Jr. out, to figure it out and find ways to win. And Ricky's a guy, you just got to let him ball, and he is going to ball out, and he's a lot of fun to watch. Comparison-wise, oh, gosh, that's hard. 10 years of covering this basketball team, I think he's got a spunkiness about him, like an Adrio Bailey, a little bit obviously more athletic. Adrio was a forward. He's got a little Mason Jones in him too. Gosh,
he's cold-blooded.
He's fun to watch, and he's got no fear when he's out there, and he's just playing. And he's a guy where you feed him. Sorry, Matt. You just feed him confidence, and he's better and better.
No, I was just going to say I agree with you that when Nick Smith comes back in, Anthony Black's jobs get easier. Ricky Council's job get easier because the focus point is on Nick Smith. So everybody's job should get a little easier.
All of that, a lot of that too, and I'm seeing this like with the women's team too. I think there's an emotional or a mental strain that comes when you feel you've got to do more heavy lifting than you might have bought into. And I think that compounds upon itself. I feel like you've seen that with the women's team. I think the 5 starters feel an immense amount of pressure to play almost perfectly because they haven't gotten much help from the bench. Now on the men's side that you have, Nick Smith, not just anybody, but Nick Smith there, and Ricky's in a position where he obviously felt comfortable as a sixth man last year. And there's a comfort level for this team now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're seeing it more and more. I mean, it's taken 2-3 games for Nick Smith Jr. to find his groove. We saw him do that yesterday. And then guys around him, like you said, relax, take a step back, and just play freer. And, we knew it was coming. And we had to give him patience. Like, you can't just, the first time when he got back and he only had missed a couple threes, only had a couple points, and it was like, oh, well, is he? It's like, guys, give him time. You got to give Nick Smith Jr. time to get acclimated again. I mean, Muss has said it too. They don't play at practice. They don't scrimmage at practice. So Nick's reps comes in a game, and now we're seeing how that can all pay off. And this basketball team can easily turn a corner and make a run. And if they play the way that they played last night, look out in March.
Hey, Matt, Alyssa, Scott, and Jeff texted in, and they made the player comparison that I started to think a little bit. Michael Qualls with a better jump shot.
Yes. You know what? So Qualls Council had a dunk a couple games ago. I can't remember which one it was. I was actually shooting it, so I should remember. But I just took.
Well, he has one every game though, Alyssa. Yeah, right. Yeah.
True. This is true. So I was like Mr. Walk on Air 2.0 ? So that's a great comp there.
Yeah, and Qualls, I mean, as far as that mid-range, man, well, not Qualls, but Ricky Council he crushes that mid-range. It wouldn't be a show if every couple months I didn't keep you updated on what Willie Taggart's doing, Alyssa. Did you?
Oh, gosh.
Did you see he's the Baltimore Ravens running back coach? Has his new job, yeah.
God.
He's out of Florida. He's out of the state of Florida now.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
Are you ready for the expectations that are going to be lopped on your Florida State football team this next year? They haven't had expectations like that since after winning a national title with Jameson Winston.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. So you know what? I'm all about it. I love it. I want them to be relevant again, give them all the expectations, and they should have. This is a really good team. They got really good pieces coming back, especially in Jordan Travis, who, early Heisman watch. That's not coming from a homer like me. That's coming from people nationally. So it's going to be a fun season to watch them play, hopefully. And it's always much more fun when Arkansas football and for me personally, Florida State football are playing really, really well. It just makes the fall that much more fun.
I've been remiss, and I hadn't mentioned Courtney Deifel now is the most winningest softball coach in Arkansas history. Came over the last weekend. I know they got the big Razorback Invitational coming up this weekend, weather permitting. But she is so highly regarded. And, I mean, they should have take her lumps first as a coach before, got to the position where they could win these many games. It just goes to show, just keep working hard, and you got a plan and somebody that obviously knows how to win a lot of softball games as a player and a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. Really excited for her and that accomplishment, as I'm sure a lot of people are. But this is proof that, we are such in a what have you done for me lately? I need results right now. Microwave world we live in where they want things fast. That Courtney Deifel built this program over time, and then these past 4 years have proven that give me time, let me bring in transfers and recruits, and I will continue to build my recruiting class. And then she brings in the number 1 recruiting class this year. They're winning softball games. They're a game away from going to the Women's College World Series. This is proof that allowing someone to build a program, you can get to where you want to go to. And there's so many softball players who came when, she always talks about Mary Haft is one of the players that took a chance on the program and came and helped them. Autumn Storm is another person who took a chance on the program and came to Arkansas to help them. Danielle Gibson, same thing, transferring from Arizona State. And so she's been able to do it. She's been able to do it the right way. And then just in general, she's like a really cool person. So it's awesome.
Alyssa, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you hopping on, as always.
One quick thing.
Yeah.
One quick thing. I would be remiss, Phil, if I didn't say happy birthday to my husband.
Oh.
Sawyer's birthday, the big 3-3.
Happy birthday.
I have to say happy birthday.
What's planned?
I've got some presents for him, and then we're hitting up U.S. Pizza for
Oh, nice.
That's a big old
U.S. Pizza fan.
That's a big old Wednesday night. That's a good time. Alyssa, thank you and happy birthday, Saw.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Alyssa Orange with us every Wednesday here on Halftime from Pig Trail Nation. Robin Waldron, like your comparison for Ricky Council to Brandon Dean.
Yeah. See, the reason why there is Qualls was a forward and Brandon Dean's a guard. Ricky Council's a guard, not a forward, so that was kind of that. But I totally get your athleticism. I thought Jordan Walsh was the most athletic player on the team. Now it's changed. I think Ricky Council might be the most athletic player on the team.
877-377-6963. If you got anything to hit on with us in the next segment of Halftime, we're going to come right back.
Thank you, Arkansas, for making us the #1 store.
Ron, what better way to celebrate during the President's Day sales event?
That's right, Joe. We've got 1.9% right now on 2022 Gladiator Rubicon.
And Brian, don't forget about the Ram 1500s. We have 0% financing on select models. So for all your new Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs during the President's Day sales event.
Or check us out on the web at RedRiverDodge.com. And Red River, we deliver.
I am not who you say I am.
I'm a pastor.
I am a caregiver.
I am a father.
I am a friend.
I'm a doctor.
Chances are someone you know and love is struggling with substance use disorder, but recovery is possible. Help starts when we stop stigma, view each other with compassion, and reach out for help. Call 1-800-622-HELP to get started. This message sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and supported by grant number 2018-AR-BX-KO85 awarded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Huh. Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Is there anything worse than a cold shower? How about water damage after a leaking water heater? If it's time for a new water heater, you deserve the best. Right now, take $150 off a new tank water heater, or upgrade to endless hot water with a tankless water heater and get $300 off. Don't settle for good when you can have the best. Schedule today at GoPascal.com. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Love is in the air at Crane Used Car Supercenter of Fort Smith. And dealer-operator Joe Pulliam is making sweetheart deals all month long. Like pre-owned vehicles starting as low as $7,497. Or payments as low as $269 a month. You'll fall in love with a Crane Pre-Love with lots to choose from. Kias and Land Rovers to full-size trucks, all backed by the Crane commitment. Rush to the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 US 71 South in Fort Smith. UACC dealer details.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Babies into running around, hanging with the crowd, putting your business in the street, talking out loud, saying you bought us this and that, and how much you done spent. I swear she must believe it's all heaven sent. Hey boy, better bring the chick around to the sad, sad truth, the dirty low down. Taught her how to talk like that.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Put your money on the table, drive it off the lot. Turn on that old love light.
I'm telling you, the pitch clock worked yesterday. It did. It came in a position where nobody was necessarily expecting it to do what they thought it would do, and it did. Yesterday's game, I think, without a pitch clock, 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Something like that, at least close to it.
I'm excited, Phil, to see more base stealing, to see more action stars, like I said, to see more athletes out there, not just the It's really, and Phil, man, I know you're a baseball guy, and I'm a fan of sport and competition. But, man, it's hard to watch when it's strikeouts and home runs. To me, it's just, man, it's not baseball when they're not really trying to do. I get the concept of it, and I understand a little bit of it, but I like to see base running, hitting runs, moving the runner over, just playing the game. Like, it's a childlike game, you know?
And I like to see those things, too. I like seeing athletes do the things that make them special.
Yes.
Pitchers throwing hard, that's one thing that makes them special. But strikeouts get boring after a while. They do. I mean, there's a reason that they were called
when your center
fascist
fielder,
by Crash Davis.
Yeah, when your third baseman doesn't have a ball to hit to him all day, when your left fielder, it's just can of corn, or nobody's trying to tag up and steal third. I mean, as far as tag from third to home or first to second, or stretching something in the gap from first to third and get a throw. It's like the baseball. It just doesn't. It's just kind of boring. Like, some of it can be kind of boring.
They call it base running. It's not base walking. Like, you're watching a guy go from first to second and just stay in there. Or just watching someone trot around the bases, because that's what the game has been reduced to, is not as much fun. And, there was a point where the game wanted more home runs, so they kind of looked the other way when all the guys were using steroids or other PEDs, because At that point, fans liked that.
Well, you had Sosa and McGuire, and that caught America's attention a little bit, and then Bonds' his thing. So I understand that.
But base running was still a part of the game. Then stealing bases was still a part of the game. The analytics hadn't taken over at that point. Nobody was shifting because, they had hard, cold facts of numbers that showed if you pitch a guy here, he's going to hit it here. So put a couple of fielders here where you usually didn't have them before. And therefore, you didn't have the other side of that analytic to say, well, if you're going to put all these fielders over here, we're just going to hit it over the fielders and over the fence. And the game changed from that point on. And
Vince Coleman, is he the last player to have 100 stolen bases in a year? Because I was trying to look up, and
probably
Lou Brock had 118 in 1974, Ricky Henderson 130 in 82. So that's what I want to see 40-40 club, man. I want to see people getting 40 stolen bases and playing, being athletes. I like you said, I like it when my baseball players are athletes.
I like stolen bases. You're going to want to watch this guy called Enrique Bradfield when Arkansas plays them because he's a great base stealer. Hey, guys, I think we got our lunch.
Uh-oh.
I think Fish City Grill has showed up.
I can smell it from here.
Still haven't had a bad meal there yet.
Oh my goodness, dude! Fish City's one of those places that you go to it and it's what's their special, or just point to the menu, whatever you want on it, and it's never had a bad meal there.
I was told to show up with my appetite today, so I've eaten. This is what I've eaten today story. All right, I had some oranges that I bought at the Love's gas station. That was it. That's my story for today. I'm ready to turn into an angry little, because I feel like that since it's been so that long since I had any legitimate calories.
What day was that, Matty T? It was about 3 weeks ago when Matty T was on the cruise.
Now you're gonna rub it in.
They brought all the
really good
the
stuff.
crawfish in. They like you see the bags or whatever. It was like a 3-pound bag of crawfish. It was just it was
but Matty T was eating filet mignon.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Lobster.
He doesn't
What
care.
was it? He said squirrel.
Caviar. That's right.
Had some quail eggs. Had some seahorse. It was
a little starfish.
Yeah, it was a great menu.
Yeah, all the delicacies of the sea. Yeah, so now we can get the delicacies of the sea from Fish City Grill in just a moment. Our 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Join us as we munch into some Fish City Grill, and we'll come right back after this.
I was much more masculine, maybe then I could learn to swim like 14 miles away. Now floating up and down, I spin colliding into sound like whales beneath me diving down. I'm sinking to the bottom of my everything that freaks me out. The lighthouse gleam has just run out. I'm cold as cold can be. I wanna swim away but don't know how. Sometimes it feels just like I'm falling in the ocean. Let the waves up take me down. Let the hurricane set in motion. Yeah, let the rain of what I feel right now come down. Let the rain come down.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Roses are red, violets are blue. If I had your bank account, I'd worry about alimony too. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Call today for a free consultation and ask about our special pricing for new divorce filings in February. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Searching for a promising career change? Looking for an established company that pays competitively and values its team members? Then come be a part of the Beckert family. Beckert in Van Buren has immediate openings for production operators paying up to $29 an hour. Sundays are paid at time and a half, and night shift work has an added premium of $1 per hour. Applications are available 24/7 at Beckert, located off I-40 at Exit 3. Apply today.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Coke Zero Sugar tastes so good, people will take a taste any way they can. You never know when your best friend will lunge across a table and grab for it. A stranger could subtly swipe it, or your little brother might just ask for one too many sips. So no matter what you're doing, or who you're with, when you're enjoying a Coke Zero Sugar, be ready to protect it from takers at all times. Because one sip begs the question, is this the best Coke ever? Take a taste and see.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I saw the cat at my door, so I came into you, sweet lady, answering your mystical call. Crystal ball on the table, showing the future, the past. Same cat with them evil eyes, and I knew it was a spell she cast. She's just a
center field, right at Burrow. He'll make the running catch. Wegner is tagging. Here's the throw home. It's cut off. And the Hogs have tied the game in the 7th inning. On Chase Borfin's line drive sacrifice fly, it's 7-7. Diggs could not advance, though. He holds at second base.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt Jones, you probably figured this out. Matty, you might already know it. You probably know it already. We've known each other long enough. I'm a slow eater. Because I like to chew my food. I don't like to talk with my mouth open too often, and I will savor the flavors.
Well,
it should take me about a full day to eat what I got from Fish City Grill because I'd like to savor this. Wow.
I had one of those, had a bite of one of those frog legs with that Louisiana. It's pretty tasty, man.
I do wonder what they do with the rest of the frog, though, because you never see frog torso on the menu.
Yeah, just the legs, huh?
George Carlin asked if we get little dollies to go around town. I got the Redfish New Orleans crawfish sauce, sauteed crawfish tails, blackened Gulf redfish sauce, and honey cornbread and fried okra. That's one of the chalkboard specials.
Oh, my goodness,
We also
yeah.
got a Bourbon Street Creole pasta that they brought us, herb-crusted cod Oscar, New Orleans barbecue shrimp, barbecue salmon tacos, and even a blackberry cobbler with ice cream on the chalkboard specials at Fish City Grill in Fort Smith. Also got their Rogers location. We appreciate them bringing us lunch today for the Fish City Grill Lunch Bunch. And it looks like I picked the right day to be in studio.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Fish City. And, so Paula J used to make some blackberry cobbler growing up a little bit. Some of my favorite dessert was the blackberry cobbler.
I've kind of gone out on blackberries over the last few
We'd
years.
go pick them, though. Pops would. I think I went once, and then all the other times I'd cry and say I don't want to go.
Just didn't want to put the effort in.
Well, you got to wear. I was like, I'm tired. I got things to do.
I love blackberry. The flavor. It's just and raspberries too. It's the seeds.
Oh, see, I like the seeds, like okra too.
You just like picking
I
stuff out of your teeth.
I don't. I got that Jason Strahan teeth, so they just go right on through. Yeah.
Well, it's something to do for the rest of the day, right? Yeah,
Right.
just try to pick your lunch out of your teeth. For
Invest
4 or
in
5
a
hours.
toothpick company.
Again, something to do. We all need something to do sometimes. 877-377-6963. Read through some of the text here. Yeah, Sasquatch is getting hungry. He says advertising works, doesn't it? Sasquatch in Mountain Home is ready to eat. Jeff in Fayetteville asking about thoughts on pitching for the Razorbacks. Watching Zach Morris yesterday struggle right when he got out of the pen, and Will McIntyre does worry me a little bit. With McIntyre last Saturday, you could chalk it up to like a one-off game. And sometimes you chalk it up to batters putting good swings on pitches and it just being the game and all of that. 2 times in a row, it could be a problem. He has had way too much of the plate, and I don't think Will can get away with having too much of the plate. Not a lot of pitchers can, but there's just not as much of a margin of error for him. So in that case, I'm a little worried about Will. With Morris, maybe so. I don't know if they were relying too much or going to rely too much on Ben Bybee, who got the start yesterday. Had 1 bad inning, 1 good inning. So take it for what that was worth. I really like what I've seen from Cody Frank. Obviously, Brady Tigert is a terrific closer, but I think he might get a chance to start at some point. Anyway, there's some thoughts on pitching. If you got any thoughts, 877-377-6963. We are into the 3rd hour of halftime, and we're just going to go back and eat some Fish City Grill for the next few minutes. So stay with us as we digest.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these great deals at any of our 4 locations. Ace 40-pound wild bird food or 20-pound black oil sunflower seed, only $20. Assorted flavors of Ace bird suet, only 99 cents. And Ace pleated air filters, buy 3, get 1 free. Find more everyday low prices online at YaegersHardware.com. Yaeger's Ace Hardware, offering real service with real savings.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Fish
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Wendy's 2 for $6 lets you mix and match some of our best items, like Dave Single with a 10-piece crispy nugs, medium strawberry lemonade with a spicy chicken sandwich, spicy chicken with a Dave Single with a strawberry lemonade, if you're into that. Chicken Sam, crispy nugs, strawberry lemonade, Dave's, nugs, Sam. Whew. Pick what you want at a price you want. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $6. For limited time, price participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's. On the card only. Single item at regular price.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, it is going to be wet, stormy, and windy. Our temperatures this afternoon will be in the upper 60s to low 70s with winds as high as 40 miles per hour. Clear and breezy, low 50s tonight, and then much cooler air will gallop on in on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm with my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Carlamon shooting it into the American end again. Morrow is back there. Now Johnson, 19 seconds. Johnson over to Ramsey. Letonov gets checked by Ramsey. McClanahan is there. The puck is still loose. 11 seconds. You've got 10 seconds. The countdown going on right now. Morrow up to Schultz. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
It was 43 years ago today. Miracle on Ice, Lake Placid, New York, 1980 Olympics. I think it's the most famous moment
since Francis we met. Amateurs beating pros, yeah.
You'd be hard-pressed to find other moments that are more famous throughout the United States for a sport that still doesn't necessarily register with 100% of the country. Heck, it might not even register with half the country.
I don't think the sport mattered as much as it was pride for your country. Yeah, and it's that's a good thing. You know, I'd like to see a lot more pride for our country. America's a great country. We live in a great time and a great place. And it's always weird when people come out talking against America or saying other things. And yeah, do we have our problems and everything? Yeah, everybody does. But, man, we're blessed to live where we do, and especially in this time that we live in.
I had a realization of that when we were on our cruise and stopped in Progresso, and I found out that, like, the average person there makes, like, $15 a day, you know, and then the gas there is even like $6 a gallon just to get back and forth. Jeez. Yeah,
and there are some beautiful places around the country, around the world that to go if you wanted to live or whatever. But man, I don't know why I'd want to live anywhere else.
Well, now I was like 3 years old when the Miracle on Ice occurred, so I'm not conscious of that moment. I'm conscious of the effect of it and of the impact, and that might. I mean, Al Michaels already was well respected and had great assignments, but that kind of sent his career into a completely different category. And, the sport of hockey for a moment had the spotlight in a way that it hasn't had since in the United States. This is one of those moments, and you hit on this before we got on the show, Matt. If you were alive and older than 3 when that occurred, you know exactly where you were when it happened. It's one of those seminal American moments, that everybody remembers where they were.
We'll have to ask Bill King, or I have to remember to ask him where, because I remember my dad telling me, he knew exactly where he was when reading it the next day in the paper.
The first moment for me that hit like that was the explosion of the Challenger. I remember exactly where I was when that happened in '86. I was home. I'd faked being sick, and I was watching The Price is Right, and they cut in because of the explosion of the Challenger. I mean, those are things you remember. We all remember where we were 9/11.
Yes, we do.
I remember where I was when Mark McGuire broke Maris's record.
Right.
But I don't know what I was doing on this day in 1980 because I was 3.
Well, to my point, I think that you could get a little bit of that with this World Cup coming into town in 3 years. This American World Cup soccer team. Soccer's not going to take off in America. It's never going to be the number one pastime. It's never.
But let's transport yourself now to soccer now from hockey then, because America now in soccer, like we made the Sweet 16. In the World Cup, the round of 16, and felt really good about it. Like, if you could transport yourself to 4 years from now, not in the Women's World Cup, because you expect the women's national team to win the World Cup.
Yeah, if they're not in the Final Four, it'd be a letdown.
For the men's team to even advance into the semifinals would feel like a giant surprise. So, I mean, what if this were to happen in 2026 when we have the next World Cup,
right?
And the men's national team,
everybody will remember where they were. Yeah,
they beat Brazil, or they to get into the finals. We have to remember, like, this game here, the Miracle on Ice, that was the semifinals. They still had to beat, I think it was Sweden to win the gold.
And like when Brandy Chastain won the first Women's Cup, and she took her shirt off and was doing the European, how all the Europeans celebrate with their hands kind of to their side, but a little high. Yeah, so we. Man, and the thing I thought of was 9/11. I'm trying to think of a sporting event when Jordan did his move right to left and did the thing against the Lakers. Yeah, and that was the clip. That's probably one of them.
I mean, those are moments that you just remember where you were because what you saw was so shocking, in a good way. In this case, I mean, there's a lot of others where you remember where you were because of something that was terrible, like my parents. And a lot of our listeners, you probably remember exactly where you were when you learned that Kennedy was shot.
Yeah,
or the moon landing. For a more positive comparison to this, and where you were when the Razorbacks won a national championship. Go a little more local on this here. You'll remember exactly where you probably remember exactly where you were when you learned of the motorcycle accident. Like, that's one of those seminal moments in Arkansas sports history that people will always remember where they were.
Speaking of a coach that didn't handle things the right way, I mean, getting up there on the TV with that neck brace and just lying to the world, that really isn't gonna keep you your job.
Boy, was his face red.
And a lot of other spots too. We got more questions here pertaining to Brandon Miller. An unnamed text out of the 479 asked, "Will you be shocked if Brandon Miller plays in Saturday's game?"
I will not.
What about tonight? I mean, what did they play tonight against South Carolina?
Well, the way the coach sounded is there's no way he's not playing. I mean, what would you do if is there any new information out? The way the coach acted was, and I thought he was trying to do it. He just did a bad job of it. He was trying to have his players back in a way, but he really didn't. He handled it the whole wrong way. So what makes you think that all of a sudden he's now going to start handling it the right way? I think
because potentially the decision has been taken out of his hands.
Well, then fair enough. Yeah.
Potentially it's out of Greg Burns'
Should he
hands.
play? No, I do not think Brandon Miller should play. Will he play? Why? I don't see what's changed except if it's outside media people or something trying to put pressure on him because the facts are the facts and they've known him for a while.
But he's asking, would we be shocked? And if we're, should he, would he, can he? Those are all different ideas than whether or not we'd be shocked. And I think you can look at it two ways. Like, the one way is, and they're on the extreme side of things, the one way is there's no way he should be playing. So, of course, I'd be shocked that he's playing. On the other side, it's like, well, Alabama's already shown the value judgment that they take into this situation, and winning a basketball game means more than any sort of accountability for Brandon Miller in this case. And I'm not talking about legal accountability. I'm talking about accountability to himself on this team and the structure of that team. Winning games matters more to Alabama and to Nate Oates. So in that case, no, I would not be shocked if he plays.
There's some shady characters out there. That's for sure. And if you're supposed to be a leader of young men and your group of guys, I just think Alabama, their coaching staff and whoever's all in charge, the higher ups, they handled it the wrong way.
Here's another way. Here's one that somebody will never forget where they were. Jack Nicklaus winning the 1986 Masters. So, that famous shot where he, raises the club higher and higher as he realizes it's going in. The putt's
going in, yeah.
That would be one. I think some people would go with,
Secretariat.
Depends on where you're from, potentially.
Yeah.
Forget the last horse that won the Triple Crown recently, but that was, a few years ago?
Smarty Jones did one, didn't he, from Arkansas, from Oaklawn?
I don't know if he won. He didn't win the Triple Crown.
He didn't win the Triple Crown,
I think
okay.
He won a couple of
Two legs.
I was thinking, how many of these things have been made into a Disney movie? The Miracle on Ice, and then also Secretariat was a Disney movie.
The Rookie. I don't think we all remember where we were when Jim Morris made his Major League debut. I don't think we all quite remember that. Jackie Robinson, 42. Was 42 a Disney movie?
That was a movie.
That's Harrison Ford. I know that.
Where were we when the Angels in the outfield helped the?
And I was in the Fort Smith. I was in the Fort Smith movie theater watching that one when I was 8 or 11. Yeah.
JB and Rogers does make a good point here. So Alabama plays at South Carolina tonight. This is a road game with all of this controversy coming out today and yesterday. Like if they're into protecting the kid, and obviously I think in this case Alabama is trying to, I don't know if protect is the right word or do right by him, but they want him to play. Do you play him in an environment like that on the road with what has just occurred? Because the boos, and South Carolina doesn't have a lot to play for. That doesn't mean they won't get a bunch of people to show up on a Wednesday night at Colonial Life Arena to shower down a whole bunch of boos on somebody. And I'm not just talking about, just like grumbling boos and everything. I mean, it would get out of hand.
Yeah, as long as it's not hostile, is there, nobody's being physical. Boos are part of the game. I mean, it's and I know this is for different reasons, but you always like to quiet a crowd. I think I don't see why they don't play the kid and why. I mean, if they've been playing him, the only thing I'd say is what's changed from the inside to say why the kid wouldn't play.
Nothing's changed from the inside, but it's all different on the outside.
Yeah.
They had to have known about this for a while. I mean, Nate Oates said, yeah, we knew about that. So just going by what the coach says, we knew about that. How long did you know about that? How many games has Miller played? How many games has Jaden Bradley played since you knew about their involvement? Yes, Miller was involved in it. Bradley, if his car was parked in a certain way to help block that Jeep, then yes, he was involved in it as well. But even just as witnesses, how long did you know that they were right there and witnessed it and they're still playing? Did they really think that this was going to be swept under the rug because it's Alabama basketball and it's the Crimson Tide and they're having their best season in 2 decades? Did they really think that this wouldn't come out and it wouldn't look terrible?
Did they have
you can just have a prayer before practice and tell people that you're having a prayer and we're just going to be okay with it?
I don't know what they were thinking. As far as Baylor, didn't Baylor have an issue 10 years ago, a decade ago?
Dave Bliss, you had a teammate murder another teammate, and the coach was silent and knew about it. Yeah. I mean, come on now. I mean, you're seeing here, you had this mass shooting at Michigan State. What was that, 2 weeks ago? They canceled all of their...
Had one at Virginia during the football season.
Well, and that was...
A former player,
football players that were killed on that bus. I mean,
former player killing former players.
That's different than what I'm getting at. But it is also that. I mean, you talk. Sometimes the athletic programs are the way and the venue where the people come together at once. I mean, the prayer vigils and get-togethers in public spaces and things like that. But nothing's going to be quite as big of a gathering as being at a football game or at a basketball game or something like that. And so, I mean, last night, Michigan State and Indiana had a moment of silence to honor the students that were killed in East Lansing. Michigan State and Michigan did the same. These are arch rivals that banded together to do this. They're part of the healing process. They're trying to be part of the healing process in this case. You know, the Virginia football players,
they didn't even play their next game. I don't even know if they played any more games.
I think
the rest of the year.
They canceled the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, the place that is hurting the most in that case is the football team. In this case at Alabama, the basketball team is the reason that this whole thing went down. It's not part of the healing process. They've created the open wound. They can't close that wound. This is forever a part of this team's legacy now.
Yeah, the coach, you always be kind of brought up with this.
All right, we're going to step aside. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio joins us next.
Arkansas, will you make the Final Four in them wacky uniforms with the pigs with horns? And did I hear you say you were playing a game today with the home crowd yelling, woo, pig suey? Hey, those pigs may be hogs, but they're kosher to me. Capiche?
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas wins a national championship!
The biggest and best selection of brand new 22 and 23 Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. The 22 F-150. Get a $1,000 rebate and 1.9% financing for 60 months. Ford Bronco Sports, 3.9% for 60 months or 5.9% for 72 months. Plus Mach-E Mustangs, Escapes, and more are ready today with special offers. The best selection of new Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal.
Hi, this is Ricky Smith, head basketball coach for the Northside Lady Bears. I dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
This is Northside head basketball coach Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products.
782-8940.
This is Butch of Whitspring, your authorized tracker and Mercury dealer. February the 23rd to the 25th will be our in-house boat show with a great inventory of Regency and Sun Tracker pontoons, bass boats by Nitro, Tracker, and Triton, plus deck boats and runabouts by Tahoe, all powered by Mercury, with gift cards ranging from $300 to $1,000 with purchase. Or how about upgrading your current boat with a new Mercury outboard? This will be a great time to meet the new owners of Whitspring with their commitment to still provide the same great service and custom rigging. That's Whitspring, 823 North 11th and Fort Smith.
At Frank Rowe Furniture, spring is on the way, and Frank Rowe Furniture is ready. We have new arrivals on Made in the USA furniture at unbelievable prices. We have two-piece sectionals starting at $13.49, recliners as low as $3.99, sofa and love starting at $13.99. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no-credit check financing with a manager approval or a SEMA financing or SNAP financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Save big when you shop at Metters Lumber True Value and get great deals during our home improvement sale. Pick up a 3-piece brush set by Master Painter for only $13.99. That's $5 off the original price. Upgrade your home's lighting with a 2-pack of GE's Direct Connect smart bulbs for only $23.99. Get $17 off Master Mechanic 20-volt cordless drill kit. Head over to Metters Lumber True Value and take advantage of these prices while supplies last.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
It's a new year. Why not put a new-to-you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take a stand, it don't help to hide. If you hurt my friends, then you hurt my pride. I gotta be a man, I can't let it slide. I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Bill King joining us from WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. He is the king of college football talk, and we appreciate all his time on Wednesdays. Bill, how are you today?
Hey, guys. What's happening?
Well, the overarching topic of, I think if you're doing a sports show in college sports today, even if you focus on college football, it's been the situation at Alabama basketball with Brandon Miller and Nate Oates. And it's really, I mean, there's a terrible look for them and maybe a lack of accountability if you want to look at it in some ways. How do you feel about this? I mean, because, you know, it doesn't look like Miller might get charged. It might be up to a grand jury. I looked at the Alabama law about this, but I think that there's a difference between, you know, how the legal system treats it and how, well, for lack of a better term, an employer would treat something like this. I wonder your thoughts on this situation.
Yeah, Brandon Miller's from here. Played right here at Cane Ridge in the 615. He might be the best basketball player in America. That has nothing to do with the conversation, I understand, but I followed him. Everybody in America wanted that kid. Horrible judgment. You're out on the strip, and I believe he's the driver in this whole situation. And for some reason, he's not with his buddy on the basketball team. Gets a text, says, "Bring my gun," delivers the gun, knows there's trouble. I don't know that he knew somebody's about to get killed, but knows there's trouble, and then a young lady gets shot and killed. And I'm not sure. I had a cop call me today and say, look, that's an accessory unless he had no idea what was going on. I still don't know why you would be delivering somebody a gun.
At 2 in the morning when you know that they've been out at a bar. I mean, come on now.
Well, even the Plaxico,
Right.
I know that. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say even the Plaxico Burris deal was kind of similar in something like that where he shot himself, but the guy that took the gun, and I know New York gun laws are way different, but the guy that did that got in serious trouble as well, the guy that was trying, the deliverer of the gun.
I don't understand it, and Nate Oates did not handle it well yesterday. Now, he did come back and apologize somewhat, but he'd already done damage with his, lack of understanding the situation or the sensitivity of it. And obviously they're getting destroyed by the media. And I think I'm not a big fan of the mainstream media, but in this case, I'm with them. I mean, I don't understand it either.
Does he play tonight? We were just talking about that because nothing's changed inside the team. It's outside the team that's changed to as far as the outside media, what you're saying. So does he play anymore this season?
Oh, I think the plan is, yeah. And now, unless they get to Greg Byrne, the AD, and that's up over the coach, as we know, and he puts a stop to it, which I guess could happen. You got to remember, not the same circumstance, but when their wide receiver after the Tennessee game hit that girl, who, by the way, I went to high school with her dad, they didn't do anything about that. Now, again, that wasn't murder, but still, it was something you shouldn't be doing, and nothing was done about it.
Yeah, well, it shows a track record of, I guess, the values of how they view with their athletes. Well, I mean, we've talked around this quite a bit over the last few hours. I know you have too. I mean, this is the overarching topic on talk shows that cover college sports, specifically in the SEC. But I did have to ask you about the Ross Dellinger report from Sports Illustrated from a couple of days ago. It seems the 4 proposals, 3 of them probably go through. The untimed down proposal, no consecutive timeouts. And probably not stopping the clock for first downs unless you're within 2 minutes. Does it feel to you, though, Bill, like clock running on incomplete passes is a bridge too far?
I do. At no point do I say I'm sick of this game, right? I don't have a problem with the length of the games. And it's just, have I watched a million boring games that you wish, might be over? But it wasn't because I like a rule change. It was just a crappy game, right? But, yeah, I think some of that stuff's going to pass. And back-to-back timeouts, nobody cares about that. That's fine. But, man, college teams aren't used to the clock running like that, particularly if you're down and you're trying to come back. And that's an art form that we're not used to now. I guess they'll adjust to it, but it's going to make it more difficult.
I wonder if you could see a thing like what you see, and I know this is so out there, but with the All-Star game, how they have this set number of points that they have to get to. If you just said, hey, look, offense is going to get 55 plays. The other offense is going to get 55 plays, and you keep scoring that way. And so going into the game that each team is going to get to run 50 offensive plays, and you see what the score is.
I've been talking about this for a little while. And I'm glad we have instant replay. I think it's important to get it right, but it's lasting at times way too long. How about this? New rule that says instant replay, just like we've got it, except you've got 1 minute. 1 minute. If you can't figure it out, call on the field stand. 1 minute. I think how many minutes would that save us over a game and a year?
Well, I love the way that how soccer they do it in Europe. There's somebody up there in the booth, and they talk in his earpiece and tell him what's up, and then they keep it going. It's like somebody else. Right. He doesn't have to run over to the half court line and go underneath the curtain and to get this magical ruling. It's just like somebody else up there can already be looking at it and just buzz them down and say, this is what happened.
And now they have to, in the SEC, of course, they have to go. There are people whose job in Birmingham at the SEC office in Hoover is on game day. They're in there. And it comes back to them. They're the one judging the game. And ultimately it goes to them, and then they relay it back. There's got to be a way to tighten that up. And I have an official on my show, Johnny Crawford, who's been an SEC headline judge since the 80s or something. And he even tells me it's way too long.
I think there's something to be said about lessening the number of plays in a game. I mean, I didn't realize that there were on average 25 more plays in a college game than in a pro game. And part of that is the refined nature of the pro game probably, but also the clock differences as well. Do you believe this is about player safety, or is this more about fitting college football into a neat 3-hour time window?
No, I don't think it's I never, but player safety is about lawsuits. I've never bought that. But yeah, I mean, I do think it's about tightening up the clock. I think it's 180 on average plays in a college game, 155 in a pro game. Also, I saw a stat that said college football in 22 on average was 5 seconds longer per game than in 21. So it grew by 5 seconds.
The other thing that stood out from when you looked at his report was the 8-minute difference between college football halftime and NFL halftime, 12 minutes to 20 minutes. But Dellinger says it's a non-starter to shorten halftime, and it's exactly the reason you brought up yesterday. The college presidents, the university presidents, the band directors, I mean, those that have something to do with the band, they would never let that happen. It's about the band performances.
The cheerleaders, everybody that goes up there at halftime, a lot of those people come in just to watch the halftime show. I mean, a lot of family and a lot of people supporting the institution and the university and the teams.
And they're not going to cut down on ad time. So if anybody brings that up, that'll never happen. It'll expand before it ever contracts. But yeah, I think some of this could get passed. Absolutely.
Bill, there's a movement in sports now to shorten games. Baseball's doing it in the college ranks, and they did it in the minor leagues the last couple of years. Now the majors will do it with the pitch clock. The college football is trying to do the same thing. The NBA All-Star game ended with that Elam ending, that weird kind of fourth quarter. That's also potentially to, not have it come down to free throws, but it also shortens the game. It used to be you made rules changes to increase scoring. Now it's to get out of the building or out of the arena a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and frankly, I know you're much more of a purist in baseball than I am. I kind of like that in baseball.
I don't mind the pitch clock in baseball at all. Actually, I don't care. I'm okay. I'm not there to watch guys go through routines, and I'm not impressed by people that tell me I don't ever want to leave the baseball park. I mean, come on now. We're here to watch a game, not to watch people fiddle around.
I like it so far. Now, I only watch college ball, but I like it so far. Christian Moore got kind of mad at that ump in the Tennessee game out west, where he called timeout about 10 times in a row and couldn't get him to call it. But I thought that was funny, actually.
Tennessee's lost a couple of games, man. I know Vandy took one yesterday against UCA, but this Tennessee team, they're maybe nobody would quite be as good as Tennessee last year during the regular season, although LSU looks pretty salty. But this is not last year's Volunteers.
No, they're replacing every player on the in the lineup, in the batting order, and basically position-wise. Now, the pitching is probably deeper, and they led America in ERA and in home runs a year ago. That's astonishing, and they're probably deeper in pitching than they were a year ago. But outside of 1 through 4, 1 through 3, nobody's hitting. And he's playing a lot of veterans who've been waiting their turn, and I think Tony's just kind of going to let this play a few more games, and he's going to start using young guys who are going to hit the ball. Now Blake Burke, true sophomore, and Christian Moore, I just mentioned, they're fantastic. And they're doing it. But Blake Burke is an absolute gorilla. He hit 14 home runs and 95 at-bats last year as a backup. Didn't start a game. And he's already got 2 or 3. He's hitting close to 500. But after that, guys, 5 through 9, they can't bust the grade. And Tony's going to have to fix that.
Midweek baseball's weird. I was explaining that to Matt earlier in the show. I mean, isn't it? I mean, midweek baseball, college baseball is, I've described it as the drunkest sport of all the college sports. Part of it is even on the weekends, it's tough to hold leads. It's all about throwing strikes, and college pitchers can be inconsistent. But then there's midweek games, which are just totally different games than on the weekends. It's such a weird, beautiful sport, Bill.
Tennessee lost last year when they were destroying everybody. A game they played up around Gatlinburg in one of those minor league field up there against one of the in-state teams. They didn't even have a winning record. And it was a wood bat game.
Yeah.
Decided to have a wood bat game.
So odd.
The game.
Drunkest sport ever, yeah.
Yeah. It was drunk. If you can use a metal bat, but we're just going to use wood just to show that we can do it. Yeah. Maybe you've been tipping it back a little bit too late at night.
Bill, I want to ask your where you were. It's the 43rd year anniversary of the Miracle on Ice, and we were talking about some moments in sports, whether it's Michael Jordan, whether it's Michael Johnson at the Olympics. I mean, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods. Where were you on the Miracle on Ice?
That would be 1980. I would have been a freshman in college, not giving a damn. That's exactly where I was.
Fair enough.
He was only into college football and college sports then, too.
Probably in a bar doing things I shouldn't have been doing, not knowing what was going on.
Bill, where did you go to school? I wasn't even aware where you went to college.
went to Tennessee for 2 years, and then finished at Lipscomb, the team that just took 2 out of 3 from Notre Dame in baseball. Lipscomb, which is in Nashville, with a worthless biochemistry degree.
Biochemistry. Wow.
Yes.
Well, we knew you were really smart. I guess you're a little smarter than I expected, man. My gosh. Biochemistry degree to the king of college football talk. That is not A to Z. It's not necessarily a straight line, is it?
I never thought about doing any of this for a living. Never, as a kid, never thought about it. Never even thought about it in college. It just happened later. But, yeah, totally useless. That's why I tell my 7 kids, I got 1 in dental school, so they're all going to college. But I'm telling them, I don't care if you go to college or not. Look at my degree.
Well, Bill,
it's not worth a nickel.
If this sports radio thing doesn't work out, I think you got something to fall back on, okay?
I don't think they'd want me, but anyways.
Bill, appreciate you, man. Thank you very
All right,
much. Have
guys.
a great week.
Thank you. Yep.
Noted
Thanks,
noted biochemist Bill King joining us on Halftime every Wednesday. We've been talking to Bill for 4.5 years. I just learned something brand new about him. I knew he was a lot smarter than I am. Hey, get on the Bet Saracen app. If you want to make a little wager on your favorite sporting event, Bet Saracen's right there on your phone. If you don't have it on your phone, Apple App Store, Google Play Store, download it, and it's really easy to use. You can also use it on any web browser at betsaracen.com. The college basketball and the tournament coming up soon. You're going to want to have Bet Saracen on your phone. Of course, for Arkansas games, they usually have an Arkansas special where you got 2 Razorback teams playing on the same day. They'll have other Arkansas specials you can parlay against both of the teams. Like last night, if you had Arkansas minus 7.5 against Grambling, and then the Hog basketball team minus 13.5 against Georgia, you didn't win it. Baseball didn't pull off exactly what they thought as far as that was concerned. But they'll have all the college baseball odds, college basketball, NFL. Hey, they'll have the XFL on there too, NBA. If there's odds on it, Bet Saracen's got it as well. And be sure to check out the really cool video of how to play featuring the one and only Jancy Sheets. Open segment coming up, 877-377-6963, and we will be right back.
No hesitation, no heart of gold, this passion pride, I do not know. It's my creation, oh my creation, it's my creation from my heart and from my hand. Why don't people understand my intentions?
Joe Klein here for Bet.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends.
Into the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, I'm gonna eat me a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, I'm gonna eat a lot of peaches. Peaches come from a can, they were put there by a man in a factory downtown. And if I had my little way, I'd eat peaches every day. Sun-soaking bulges in the shade.
Tiger set again. The 1-2. He struck him out swinging. This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Final score 9-7. This one made you sweat though, Bubba.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We got a text. We got two texts here about Bill King and his biochemistry degree. BE in Clarksville, who always has a good wordplay, says, Bill's always had good chemistry on the show. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And Preston in Fayetteville, who is a professional chocolatier, also has a biochemistry degree. He says we both didn't use our degrees. I don't know. I think you, Preston, might use your knowledge of science a little more when it comes to chocolate than Bill would with college football.
Where can you get paid to be a professional chocolatier? Like, does he work for Godiva or something?
You probably start your own chocolate company at that point.
Yeah.
Probably like in Sweden.
That sounds like a sweet job.
Switzerland.
There you go.
You're talking Swiss chocolate, right?
Switzerland.
I don't know if the Swedes are known for their chocolate so much as they're for their fish.
Yeah. And they have one of the best soccer players to ever play, Zlatan.
They're also known for their chef.
Oh, your boy. He was on Entourage, speaking of cameos.
Sweden used to be known for their national bikini team. You remember that ad campaign?
All I know is whenever you watch Sweden in the Olympics, they're all beautiful. Like, you're just like, yep, that's where
beautiful
they all are.
on the inside, you mean?
They're known for ABBA. Is it ABBA or ABBA?
ABBA.
I
could be wrong. I don't know.
You know, I'm addicted to these old classic Casey Kasem Top 40 episodes. He referred to them as ABBA the other day. My daughter sitting next to me said, why did she just use the Hebrew name for her father? She said, I thought it was ABBA. She's 13. She knows better than Casey did back then.
Smart kid.
Preston says, there's a lot of science in chocolate. He's the director of chocolate for Onyx Coffee Lab in Northwest Arkansas.
Cool.
Preston, big fan of your coffee. Onyx is the stuff. So being the director of chocolate means, are you the director? I was going to ask you, I mean, that's all forms of their chocolate, the powdered chocolate, the syrup.
You put chocolate in your coffee?
No, but you can't. I mean, I have.
Yeah.
You just want to give it a little bit extra flavor.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of putting a hot chocolate mix in my coffee. We got some Swiss Miss back there.
It works.
Do you make your
called a mocha.
Your hot cocoa with milk or water?
Oh, milk. What do you?
Okay, I do milk too.
Depends on how creamy I'm feeling that day.
Some people I know do water, but
I mean water if that's all that's available, but not
put
by
some
choice.
water on that. I mean, I thought you was making this for me.
Hey guys, Candy, who works in our office back here, has asked me, since I'm going to start traveling for baseball soon, and I'm going to Starkville tonight with the women's basketball team. Very exciting place to be in Stark, Vegas. And then we go to Greenville, South Carolina.
Is it still called the Hump?
It is the Hump.
Yeah.
That is right. I actually like that building. I like their facilities there.
I played down. Yeah,
the
it's
football
nice.
stadium's okay.
Basketball's nice. I like the basketball better.
And the baseball park is pretty amazing.
Okay, right on.
Pretty amazing. We're there for baseball this year. You ought to come. I'm like inviting you to every single road series. Candy wants me to bring her a shot glass from every town in the Southeastern Conference. She's even willing to pay for the shot glasses herself. I just have to put in the effort and hopefully not break these
So
things.
are they related to actually being like a Mississippi State of some kind, or is it just a shot glass from any like around there? Like, do you want them school associated with the kind of, because that'd be kind of cool, right?
Well, I'd have to ask her. I mean, she asked me this just before we got on the show, so I wasn't able to get all of the details necessarily. She didn't ask me if something's wrong with me either, because I don't look very good.
When speaking of shots, whenever y'all pour a shot or whenever you do a shot, y'all both probably look like y'all do like
it's been a couple years.
0.5. Yeah, like y'all don't do the double shots.
Dude, I have a huge shot glass collection, and Ty is good about everywhere he goes. He brings me one back, so I've got a ridiculous collection. But I don't even do shots at like
Candy. Get on
shots.
Ty to bring you the shot glasses instead of me. He's more in that age range that always is looking for shot glasses anyway.
And it's probably around him more. Yeah,
I think I'm at an age now where I'm not even thinking about buying. Like this trip we took, came back with almost zero souvenirs.
You just want like a low ball glass to throw it in. Yeah,
I'm just not into the souvenirs very much. I'm into the memories. Hopefully, I remember all the things that I'd like to remember, because sooner or later my brain's going bye-bye.
I like to take only memories and leave only footsteps.
Well, that's just very generous of you. I think I felt footsteps behind me here. I thought
She's
Candy
watching.
Her ears are burning apparently. But I do want to thank Candy for not being the person who, and this is legit, a studio engineer that did Traveler games for me, worked in the studio. He had a thing for ballpark stadium cups. You know, the quote-unquote souvenir cups, which they're just selling you advertising.
He wanted them after they'd been used. You're picking them up off the ground.
Yeah, he didn't want me to get them clean out of the concession stand.
At this hotel we were at in New Orleans, they had cups with the bar's logo. The gal, she was nice enough to just give me 6 of them, and the brand new clean ones.
The funny thing is, it's like when we would play at home and he would get a night off so we could go to the game, you would see, I would be doing the post-game show and you would see him down there, like walking through each row, picking up empty stadium cups that had been used. Yes, they're collectible. And so are the germs inside of each of these cups and the backwash. I mean, come on now.
I don't think I could run that through my dishwasher enough to ever.
If you guys were out somewhere, let's say the park or wherever, and you saw a bottle of water and it was just laying there, obviously it's nobody's, like somebody just left it there, and you go pick it up and the seal's not broken, would you? Because I would. There's no way I would drink it if the seal's been broken. But have you ever had it picked up a bottle of water or seen that the seal's not broken and just kept it?
That makes me feel like at least what I'm going to put my mouth on is not dirty.
Like in like a hotel tray, like if you're walking down the at 2 a.m., going back to your room and you see some chicken fingers that somebody else has been eating, but they set it out, some fries. Have you ever taken a fry or a chicken strip or some bread?
I've been that desperate to eat previously, but it's been a while. And Matt, I won't even use the coffee makers in the rooms anymore.
That's what I was telling Maddie T, the same thing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm at the point now where I feel like, and I'm not a germaphobe, but when you see some of these
common
reports
sense
about what's in the rooms,
yeah.
I almost want to take a rubbing alcohol laced Q-tip to the sink and anything I'm going to put my hand on. And I do know people that bring their own pillowcases to hotel rooms. I'm not one of them, but maybe now that I've talked about
I know
it,
people.
thing
You
for
put a
sure-
shirt over it or something. Go ahead. Manatee.
I'm sorry. We always check for bed bugs. That's like, as soon as we walk in a room, she's lifting up the mattress and doing inspection.
You ever get attacked by bed bugs?
I've never.
Matt?
No,
Thank
sir.
God. I'm in all your traveling.
It happened once.
Oh.
It happened when Wichita, Kansas. Oh my gosh, it was disgusting.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
You didn't bring any with you.
I
did
thought
you?
I brought that evil with me home. Thankfully, I did not, but we checked. Yeah.
You have to burn your house down.
Neck to ankles.
Oh my God.
And everything in between. And then in between the in-between.
Oh, goodness.
Stay with us. Halftime wraps up after this.
Holding a sign that said twine ball or bust. He smelled real bad and he said his name was Bernie. I put in a Slim Whitman tape, my wife put on a brand new hairnet. Kids were in the backseat jumping up and down, yelling, "Are we there yet?" And all of us were joined together in one common thought as we rolled down the long and winding interstate in our 53 DeSoto. We're going to see the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. We're heading for the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Is your heating system leaving you out in the cold? Funny smell? Grinding noises? Or just plain not keeping you comfortable? If it's time for a new heating and air system, you deserve the best. Get a complete Pascal system replacement starting at only $99 a month. Don't settle for good when you can have the best. Schedule today at gopascal.com. Professional people, professional service, Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Did Cupid shoot you with a crossbow of drama instead of an arrow of true love? Don't let that little cherub ruin the rest of your life. Call Mock Legal Solutions today to stop the bleeding. Schedule a free consultation and ask about our special pricing for new divorce filings in February. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Where can you get RV show pricing without the RV show crowd? Breen RV in Van Buren. This month only, we are paying your sales tax on all 22 trailers in stock. Save thousands from Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and Thor. Don't worry about payments for 90 days. Get free maintenance for life and all of your state sales tax paid at Breen RV. Check out the new Sunray that weighs less than 2,000 pounds. Don't wait until spring. Come by Breen RV today and let us show you how easy it is to buy a new or used RV.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
And now we're saying bye-bye. If you ask me to kill, I would. If you ask me to steal, I would. If you want me to love, I could. But we're so misunderstood.
Me and you together ain't really good anyway. We could break up or just break out in a heated argument on any given day. I'm impossible. Being with me is an obstacle. Women of the world, I got lots to pull. But we closer than most, especially with our clothes on the floors. I only give a dose to them. And without you is the one thing I hate. Together's a fate. But if you ask, baby, I would jump in the lake. And I cheated, you stay faithful. And I'm ungrateful. And I act so damn hateful.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Anything you missed here on Halftime, our guests, our conversations, we'll have it on the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast that comes out shortly after the show. Ruskin and Zach will take you up until 7 o'clock tonight. You got SEC basketball on the network. Vanderbilt, LSU. Vandy's going to win that one. You know that. Kentucky and Florida, also 6 o'clock on ESPN. Ole Miss and Auburn on the network at 8, and Alabama and South Carolina at 8 o'clock on ESPN2. And, man, I think there's going to be a lot of people watching before the Alabama-South Carolina game to see whether or not Brandon Miller plays or whether he's even with the team or doesn't play and sits on the bench. I kind of wonder if you even put him on the floor, considering I have a sense that the Carolina fans will kind of go bonkers.
Yeah, with Nate Oates out of the running for Coach of the Year, do you think Jerry Stackhouse might have a chance with that Vanderbilt team? He's kind of got them winning some games, or they could be on that outside looking in. Man, Phil, I'm interested, just like you, to see if the kid's going to play. I think there's more information that's going to come to light. I don't think everybody's telling the truth. You know, like Coach, he said, we're operating under the assumption that everybody's telling. I don't think so. I think there's more information and the truth to come out. So I don't know. Yeah.
I wonder when the votes even come, because they put the votes in before the regular season ends.
That'd be weird, right? That'd be a bad look for the SEC and yeah.
You may look at Buzz Williams, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, A&M, man. I was talking to somebody about A&M. You don't want to play them in the tournament, man. They're. I said I know why A&M's football team's so bad. They're all on the basketball team. They got DNs out there that could rush a quarterback.
Yeah.
That could probably play both. Yeah.
You're right about that. Hey, it's been fun today, guys. Always love doing the show with you in person. So let's do this again sometime soon. Meanwhile, I'm out to Stark Vegas. So for Matt Jones, for Matt Travis, and everyone else here, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Get up, get out, and get better.